3. Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole.
Hello.
And I'm with Yvie.
Hello.
And suddenly I've got an itch. Ooh, there, right there.
Couldn't have done that a minute
Just
ago.
right on. I know. Couldn't it not have itched
Right on
sooner?
cue.
Right on cue. And you got one spot. Now you got to do it all.
Oh, God. It's like when you're getting ready for a trip or something, or getting on a plane, and you've just been to the loo, and you get on the plane, you're like, again?
It's all I
I've
can think
just
about.
been.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it's
I don't
literally
have
all
that
I can
problem.
think about.
Yeah.
My body seems to know, like, okay, he's going to be doing this. Okay,
He's
now
busy.
we got to do this now. Now he's busy.
No,
so
I've
we
got
can't,
like a-
so it's got to go back up in there for a little while.
I've
you
got
know?
like a vindictive bladder or something. My bladder's just like, hey.
Oh, during Comic-Con,
Hey.
your bladder was the worst. You were like, I can't even
Wow.
say this, but I need to pee again. And I'm like,
Yes, it was.
Stevie,
It really
what?
was.
Well, the nice thing about
I think it was
Comic-Con
all
is
the
there's a
caffeine.
bathroom every 50 feet. Yeah,
Thank
that's what
God.
Yeah,
it
but
is.
you also
That's
have
what
to,
it
you
is.
also have to wait 50 minutes to use the facilities.
Yeah, when you're a lady.
Because there's always lots of people queued up.
Yeah.
Ah,
But
Yeah,
there
we
you
ended
go.
we ended up walking over to like the neighboring hotel and just going there
Yeah.
because it was
Okay.
easier.
that's how I found
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Howard, who
Yes!
did
Oh,
That was a-
for
that was a
searching for
toilet break.
bathrooms?
We were wandering over there. Yeah, we were like, oh, let's go somewhere else where there's not loads of people while we
I
go get our
did not
Starbucks and do our
realize
business.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
Yeah. So you know what? Going to the toilet a lot pays off.
Exploration. Beautiful. David's just been on a trip. David.
Yes.
Trip.
Well, I'm going to share a photo right now. You guys can't see, but this is us
Look at the stream.
whitewater rafting. So, and I am, of course, the one with the GoPro. So, and directly across from the front of me there, in the blue shirt with a smile on it. Well, they're all got smiles on their faces. Is my buddy Isaac in the white shorts.
Oh, I can see it.
So
Aw.
yeah, so that was us up in Glacier National Park riding rapids. I was hoping for more intense. I was hoping for like a chance to actually lose the boat, you know, or yourself aboard the boat into the water.
Well,
Okay,
you wanted your
like
life threatened a little
I
bit
wanted
more.
my life threatened a little bit from a safe distance with a written guarantee of survival, but no. So, but it was a good time.
It's
That's
like
an
when I get some
awesome picture,
turbulence. I'm
though.
like, oh, it's a bit
Yes.
spicy, but I don't like it. But also, I'm probably gonna be fine.
No, it was a great getaway.
Yeah.
It was nice because all the kids were back in school.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
I'm going
in
out
Glacier.
Wednesday in London, and I'm so happy because everyone's going to be at school and at work. I'm going to have no one in my way while I go and have fun.
Just some
On
tourists.
Wednesday, there you go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be good. Barely any tourists either. I'm not hitting those spots. Definitely not.
What about you, Evie? What's going on?
What's going on with me? Nothing very exciting, but I am planning an upcoming trip in a couple of weeks to Melbourne, which is probably my favorite city in Australia.
Really?
I actually prefer it over Perth, but I have family here, so that makes it better, I guess. It's just
Yeah.
really funky. It's just like it's older than Perth is, and you know, there's all these cool little alleyways. It kind of reminds me a little bit of London, I guess. There's just all these little like nooks
really?
and crannies to explore.
I
And-
actually have discovered so many things in nooks and crannies like recently, and I'm like, well, it's so much to find. So
Your
I love
city
it.
is over 1,000 years old.
Yeah,
Me?
that is so
Yeah.
cool.
What do you expect
Yeah.
to find in nooks and crannies? More
So
nooks and
I
crannies.
found I went to Bird and Blend because they do like all these matcha teas and all these things that I like. And when I went to go find it, I literally went the opposite direction of where I needed to go just to go get some tea because I wanted it so badly. And when I got there, I'd like discovered this whole market I'd never known before. I was like, this is under a bridge. It's crazy. I love it. And then like while I was there was like
That's
lavender
awesome.
infused honey and lavender iced tea. And
Oh,
the
see,
UK
I love
we
that.
don't do lavender flavored things much. The US is much more on board with it. We're not. So I bought all the lavender stuff.
Well, I was like, but you guys are like, isn't there like lavender in every British garden?
Exactly. So we have it. We just don't put it in our food, and we should because I love it. So yeah, I found a new
it's
thing.
one of
Evie,
those
so-
things you have to be really careful about because it can taste soapy if you have too much of it. It has to be very
Quite.
subtle.
I'm one of those people that like, well, what's that thing that herb that no one likes? It tastes like soap.
Coriander.
I love
you know, like,
coriander. The
yeah,
soapier, the better.
cilantro.
Yeah.
No, yuck. Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry guys. I don't know why. The grosser it is, the more I want to eat it. So
No, cilantro is disgusting.
Oy.
Yuck.
Well,
Oi.
there you
By
go.
the way, we have some people in the chat. We've got Stuart Miller who says, "Hello everyone, first time watching
Hello,
live."
Stuart.
Hello,
Yay,
hello.
hi, Stuart.
Welcome,
I have been
welcome.
watching since the start, but have only been able to haven't been able to watch free to alive now. Brain no work. And then Marco Maldini. Hello.
I know that
People just
name.
haven't. Yeah, I think I've seen you come up before.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
We've got everyone else back. Blockwatcher, Dan Ben, Raj Luthra, Jean Diata, hello, Candy
the old
Mitch.
gang.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is Anthony in?
Anthony's always
Okay.
in first one.
Yeah,
Hello,
that's
Anthony.
true.
I had
Oh,
to scroll up to
Anthony.
just double check, but he
I've
is.
got to
That man is a workhorse.
so
Yeah.
he completed. I've got to pull this up if I can. I'm going to show you a little bit of the back end here. I really should do this live on Dial the Gate, but I was thinking that Martin Wood was going to log. What?
Stuart lives in Norwich. He
Norwich?
says he lives in Norwich. Yeah, that's like so. I live about 5 feet from Norfolk, because that's where the borderline of my county is. So
Oh.
he's in Norfolk technically. So
Oh.
we're neighboring counties, isn't that nice?
Oh,
There we go.
That's
so carry on,
cool.
David. Martin.
Where was I?
Martin.
Yeah, now I'm trying to
The
get it to
back
load,
end.
It's not.
Okay,
So
Martin.
one of the things that we've been working on is building out the complete chapter archive of the show, so that you can go and search things by topic. And
Yes.
Anthony basically, except for 3 that I have tagged that I have to finish feel compelled to finish myself. Anthony went and
Yes.
completed everything.
Yes, it's incredible.
So what everyone's seeing online right now is the back end portal for the Dial the Gate chapter archive, and Anthony has just gone to town on the majority of this. Tracy and I had a couple others working on it for the longest time, but he has gone in and filled in all of these, and I use
Looking
this
at it on stream.
as
Wow.
as an archive for myself, so that I can go in and
Yes.
see what topics I have covered, specifically looking for which episodes I've covered and then which I have not,
Wow.
so that I can go in. It's like, for instance, we had Martin Wood today. Let me see if I can pull
Yes.
this
Was
up.
How did
like
that
part
go?
4
I
or
missed.
part
I
five?
It
missed
was
mine
great.
this morning.
It was
Yeah.
great. So, what I do is,
Oh, wow.
I've got the episodes that
Yes.
I've talked about topically, and then we can go in and say. So I added First Strike. We talked about First Strike today, so I can go in and do that. Like a solid green
That's
is yes,
so
we've definitely
cool.
covered it, and then like a faded green is, you know what, I really should go back and talk about more of these.
That is
But
awesome.
So we can make sure that we're hitting, making up, taking as much advantage of the time that we have with these folks
Yeah.
as we can. So big
Yes.
thanks to Anthony for going through the last
Yay, Anthony.
75, 80 shows.
Thanks.
Hey,
So
can
we
I
are
say
now
as
all caught
well-
up, and you can search for these on YouTube. When you click on an episode, you can go in
Yes.
and every topic has its
Beautiful.
And
has
I
its
think I've
threshold.
mentioned it. I think I've mentioned it before, but I use that when I'm doing my notes for the episodes.
Yep.
It's so
And I do
helpful.
no
So
prep.
I don't have to randomly scroll and just hope for the best. Like
That's
I
it.
know exactly what's being discussed and when it's being discussed.
And eventually,
And it makes
dialthegates.com will
my
be
time
loaded
a
out
lot.
with these. So
It's very awesome.
I am not a workhorse, so I appreciate that you guys all are, because that's one of my shortcomings. So
thank you, Nicole, for going out of your way to tell us what you don't do.
I don't do, but look what you do. I love that.
How are those TikTok videos coming along, Nicole? For
yeah,
Remote
David.
Extremists?
You know what? They're sitting there. They're coming.
I'm really sure that they are. So it's just fantastic.
It's just
I
fantastic.
can always
You know
just
what?
really count on you.
I can guarantee they'll be done by sometime in the future.
All right, Adam. Let's look at Adam's
dear.
AI artwork. So
By the way, Raj Luthra has said I use coriander a lot. Want that noted. Thank you, Raj.
What's that?
Right. Coriander.
They use coriander, cilantro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Important.
Just those. That's a segue for you. All right. Let's look at Menace. You guys get the link for the email?
So I was
yes.
just thinking if Anthony does the same like bookmarks on our episodes, it'd just be one that says coriander. So if we needed to like
No, we're gonna wait for
Remember the
AI to come
coriander.
along and correctly splice those in. So
all right, so
all right, Menace.
Menace.
Let's
do
take a
it.
look.
Oh.
Isn't she
Oh.
cute?
It's a bit
with-
menacing.
You're right.
She's given the side eye
Wow.
that my dog
It's
gives me.
full of grim. It's like, yeah, like what's at the end of that hallway? Is it more
They
replicators?
keep on
Yeah.
going.
So like
That's
I don't
really
get side eye
cool.
from people ever, but like my dog will be sitting in a corner with a little toy, and she'll be sitting there like a little kid just glaring at me, and I'm just like,
Yes, yes. Cats do very awesome side eye as well
Yeah.
because they're so judgy.
But he's done a great
She-
job with this.
She is
I love
That is
it.
really
beautiful.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gorgeous and like it's just and
Little
she's very
critters.
childlike as well. She looks very like young and
Yeah,
obviously
she
she's got the
does.
mind.
And
of
look
a
at all the
child,
little
so.
pieces of them too. So
That's
little
very
bits.
cool.
Little spiders. I
Yeah.
will say I have arachnophobia, so
Yeah.
He said, I used multiple different AI models to get this image. This took several things to construct. One is very good at art styles, but draws nothing near incoherent if it's from scratch. Instead, I used another AI model to get the overall idea and then went over it with another AI to get more digital illustration look. I wasn't exactly sure I wanted to do for this image that I have many drafts, but it ended up looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember him saying to me during the week that he was really happy with this one and he was struggling with the Sentinel. And then in the end, it turned out that he preferred the one.
I
for the
liked
Sentinel.
I liked it. I liked it. Let's take a look. You guys ready?
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
it reminds me of Hi-Fi Rush. I don't know if you've seen that game, but
No.
that gives me little feels. Hi-Fi Rush is a very like animated kind of style game. It's very like cartoony type
Yes.
style. And the idea is that he has to go through the entire game. You have to go through the whole game with the character's got like an MP3 player stuck in his chest. So he's got music playing. So you have to fight enemies to the beat of the music.
Oh gosh.
And
Oh,
so there's
that's actually
constant
kind of
music
cool.
beats coming out, and the songs are really nice, and some songs
Yeah.
are really wholesome and sweet, and then you're like protecting your friends and kicking ass. And this kind of reminds me of that.
Reminds
It's
me
like
a little
he's
Baby
just-
Driver.
Yeah. He's just sitting there like with
Wow.
the music kind of flowing over, trying to like restore the Sentinel. It's a nice
No, this one's turned out really awesome. I think he might have used
Quite pleasant.
like a screenshot from the show for
I
inspiration.
think, yeah, he pulled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like the way that the Sentinel looks.
yeah.
I love
It's
the
just
art
cool. It kind
style
of looks
here
like
with all the edges.
cubes of ice.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
that's what the Sentinel looked
Yeah.
like really close up. So
It kind of
Yeah.
did, yeah.
he says, I
I've always
truly
wanted
had
to
Awesome.
eat it like it's candy.
says I truly had no idea what to do for this image. The concept would be so foreign to any AI. Even the most advanced AI with the best comprehension, I don't think would have understood what the Sentinel was or what it entailed. So I cheated a little and used a screenshot from the episode as reference. Then again, used the wild AI, the one that wouldn't draw anything good from scratch, and set it to work on looking at the screenshot and using a technique called control net composition to draw something inspired from that. And I think it turned out pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
really like the
agree.
music notes.
I really
think.
like
it,
yeah.
Really, I'm not gonna lie.
You got
I
the
thought
two
I really
kind of
liked the
styles.
first one.
Kind of gives me like
The-
a 80s
second one-
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Uh-huh.
second one makes me appreciate the Sentinel more because I don't like it very much. So
Well, it's got kind of an anime vibe in terms of Daniel's look here. So it really,
yeah.
Mhm.
I think it, I think a lot of those when you think that it's not going the way that you want, and then you just go, let's try this.
Yep. Yep.
You know? And I
Exactly.
like Adam's work, particularly when he has to, not when he just types in a prompt and it just does it, but when he has to
When the
work
thing
through
doesn't
the
want to do
mediums.
anything. Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and he's evolving and evolving and evolving, and then he arrives at an idea that he wants. When you can go in a number of different directions with it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Very
Agreed.
cool.
No, he's put in a lot of work.
he has.
Sorry, Dan Ben just put like an ice cube.
Ice cube. I was
in
going to
the
say
shot.
that.
And it would have fit right into that shot. That's
Yeah.
funny. Looks like a board
Adam
cube
could have
to me.
literally just gotten a bunch of emojis and then just had that image there and just rebuilt it with emojis, and we wouldn't even be able to tell the difference.
Oh, that's funny. All right, you guys ready to watch the Sentinel?
Oh,
It's
as
Menace
ready as
first.
I'll ever
It's
be.
Menace
It is
first.
Menace.
It's a shame it's Menace first because I prefer Menace. So I feel like we're going to end on
I
a
don't know.
lower note.
I watched the Sentinel last night, and I actually quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like them both.
yeah.
I love. Is it Marul or Maruk? Marul?
Yeah, Marul.
Oh man,
Marul.
he's funny. Hello.
Yeah, he's great. He's
How's-
so
how's it-
good.
I don't know what you got. Oh,
He's
No.
the little like the governor of the
Yeah.
That's
town or
right. It's
whatever.
like
No,
Yeah.
they
I just
picked
don't-
him.
I just don't know why you guys are saying I'm very surprised, but I feel like you guys are saying nice things, but you actually can give it a low rating. So I don't know. I will say that Menace is one that hits me really emotionally. I think that I just have such empathy
Yeah.
for sad machines.
Both of these episodes were being filmed during September 11th.
I know, there's a
Oh!
lot of emotion. Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in both of
Speaking
these
of,
episodes.
that was a sour
This
day.
past week.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I don't
was.
know what you guys say to that because the rest of the world kind of doesn't have much to say. Is there something that you say on that day to like remember?
No, we don't have
people?
like a slogan or something. Never Forget
Yeah.
was big for a while. Never Forget.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yes, so my friend texted that to me the other day, and I was actually listening to Halo, and so I played the song "Never Forget" from the Halo 3 soundtrack, which is like the never forget the veterans in the Halo series that died fighting for Earth. And so I listened to that actually when I thought of that. So that was my little memorial moment because bad day,
Yeah.
but
Halo
not
did.
good people.
Halo did an amazing. I don't remember which game it was for, but I'm pretty sure it was Halo. Did an amazing commercial years ago for the teaser with a veteran, and they had a map or a model, a mock-up of the war zone. And do you remember which game that was for?
It was Halo 3, and
it was Halo 3 because they were focusing on veterans.
It's a giant diorama.
Yeah,
it's
like when you go to a
so
national
haunting.
park, you always see a diorama at the visitor center of the park. So it was one of those.
A harrowing diorama, and the music is really emotional. And
It's one of those games. It's on my list.
Yeah, I'm a big, like, I'm not like a huge military person because my family, I don't have anything, and the veteran thing, I don't have any of that in my family really. But
Yet her
I've
favorite
always
show is Stargate.
But my favorite show is Stargate. My favorite game is Halo.
Yeah.
So I have an appreciation for that
You get
element.
it.
Yeah.
Sure. You guys ready to watch Menace?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
I'm very excited. So
She's excited.
I'm really excited. This is one of my favorite episodes. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
I think-
I'm ready to go
see.
here. All right. Save it for the show.
Yeah.
All right. Menace in 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to the Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole
Hello.
and Yvie.
Good day.
And this is Menace, Season 5, Episode 19.
Yes, it is. So, apparently these opening scenes were filmed like right after 9/11. So, the cast had just seen the news and obviously it really hit home, especially for those with connections to New York. And Christopher Judge, who had family in the city, was particularly affected. So he actually asked to be in the background during filming because he was so shaken up.
Wow. Okay.
That's why he's kind of missing. I never knew that. That's a really interesting sad
and
fact.
he's sort of a little bit missing in the next episode too, which I think they must have been on like a similar schedule because I think they were filmed around the same time.
Some elements were shot from both this episode and the Sentinel on September 11th, which I did not know until I recently sat down and talked with one of the actors.
Christina. Yes.
Yep, that's it. Christina Cox.
She was the first Stargate actress I ever met. So I'm looking forward to
Wow.
I'll discuss that when we
Yes,
do when we
please.
do
That's
the
actually
next
really
episode.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this story was written partially by James Tishner.
Yes.
He is the visual effects guru, and it's one of only 2 episodes I think he wrote in the entire series. And when he was renegotiating one of his Stargate contracts, he offered to pitch a story in lieu of a raise. So he originally envisioned the Replicator's creator as a young girl whose robot toys sort of went bananas, as he said. So originally Reese was found with her toys, and all like surviving people lived in like these really low-tech caves to avoid Replicator attention. And the pitch had SG-1 reuniting Reese with her family and finding a way to beat the Replicators. But apparently Brad Wright, like, he loved the concept of a kid accidentally like unleashing this massive threat, but a lot of the details were changed. But while there were a lot of alterations to the original story, the core concept of Reese as the Replicator's creator really stuck. And despite the new direction, apparently James was still pretty happy with how it turned out.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah.
There is a similar thread in Star Trek Discovery. It's either season 3 or season 4. Season 3, called The Burn, where all dilithium was wiped out. And at the end of the story, spoiler alert, throughout the season, to the end of the season, you find out it was a child who unleashed,
Oh, wow.
who discovered his maximum potential and unleashed this threat across the galaxy. And that itself is actually based on a short story, which the name of which I cannot think of right now. But if there's someone who's a fan of Star Trek Discovery who knows that story, then yes, share that. So this is very similar in that regard.
That is cool. So this episode marks Donna Davis's 100th episode as Hammond, I believe.
Ah.
Wow.
And what was I gonna say?
It's all good.
Yeah. So this episode.
This scene is sponsored by Hewlett Packard.
Yes, it is. I didn't even notice that tag. So this episode actually ties together several big themes from earlier stories. So it explores like artificial life and human consciousness in artificial environments like in Tin Man, Double Jeopardy, Scorched Earth, and Entity, and it also touches on nanotechnology that we saw in like Brief Candle, Learning Curve, Absolute Power. Plus, it reveals the replicator's origin, which connects Nemesis, Small Victories, and Enemies.
Yes. And
the origin of the replicators always confused me because of that. Because like it comes from Reese, but then there's also the stuff in the Atlantis galaxy, and it all kind of crossed over. But
yes,
I wish I had a slimmer timeline that like clearly identified.
Everything goes back to the ancients.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I do. I just try to
everything.
just do that. Yeah.
So I kind of might be a little bit overanalyzing here. But
Please, overanalyze.
Like, I love overanalyzing. Do you think Reese's clothing is like symbolic? Because it has like a scaly, almost like snake-like quality to it. And like I might be reading way too much into it, but could it be like a subtle nod to her character? Like, you know, like she's seemingly harmless at first glance, but with like the potential for danger if she's pushed into a corner?
I feel like if they don't do anything with the costumes, then it's like, what are the costumes even doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? I'll take your over-analysis and take it as a good analysis.
That is one of the cleanest, coolest visual effects.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I agree.
I
totally agree.
That is so cool. You locked the camera for that one.
I really love this episode. I'm really excited to dive into it. It's just,
well, for one that's on base primarily.
I love on base episodes.
It is a pretty good episode, yeah.
When locked in the base, I feel like they thrive.
Nicole, you'd probably appreciate this a little bit more being a Friends fan, but I was going to say that this whole exchange here reminds me of the episode of Friends where Ross and Rachel are like coaching Chandler on those like automatic reflex responses to like a partner's tricky questions.
Yep.
So it's like there should be like a similar quickfire exchange between Sam and Hammond. Like, you know, can I activate the robot? No. Should I be charging the main power cell? No.
No. And then it's like, oh yeah, but what about this? No, that's a trick question. Secret answer number 3.
Funny stuff.
I like that.
Exactly.
That's why I made the doo-doo joke earlier. That was from the Chandler episode of Friends.
Yes. I got it.
Appreciate you.
I love that Michael Shanks has a chance to stretch his legs a little bit in terms of psychology in this episode.
Not around,
that's true.
but it's amazing. Like
Look
you
at
got
that shot.
the Unis episode, you got the Reese episode. It's great.
They're making the most of him while he's still on the regular cast, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so I kind of I think that Reese is kind of like a 90s computer. It takes her forever to reboot.
Gotta go through all her lines of code.
Yes.
I've tried to get Danielle on. I would love to get her on, and she has said no.
That is cool. Oh man, that's fair enough.
I hope she liked her performance from this, and it's not anything about that.
Yeah,
because I think she's stellar in this episode.
Absolutely. And I think this is her one and only Stargate appearance, but she actually has quite a few Stargate connections because she actually spent 40 episodes on Third Rock from the Sun with David DeLuise, aka Pete Shanahan, and obviously, she also worked with Brent Stewart, who played our original Ferretti in the movie and Dr. Cobble in Universe. So, like, she's got some Stargate connections.
She was also in The Flash, which is just, more
she
Canada.
Was. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
That is a thank you to Raj Luthra for pointing that out. And I would have probably, I dropped The Flash a long time ago, so I would not have remembered. Where's my father? You know where your father is.
So it was kind of interesting that Daniel didn't introduce Jack as Colonel Jack. He just called him Jack. So I kind of thought it was interesting because he uses formal titles for himself and for Sam, but it kind of makes you wonder if it was intentional. Like maybe Daniel knew that Jack would be the toughest critic of a humanoid robot, so he deliberately made Jack seem less formal.
Well, also
yeah.
It could be like a subtle way of
childlike,
making
so he's
Yeah.
Jack
responding in
appear like
kind.
more approachable. Yeah, but he did
Well,
call himself
yeah.
a doctor and he did call her
That's
a major.
true.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, scratch that.
Like, I do feel like he was just trying to, you know, what you guys saying, that he's trying to make Jack seem just a little bit nicer, give him less
Yeah.
of that sharp edge.
Yeah, less like corporate or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so good in this.
Honestly.
Oh, she's incredible. She really is.
One of my favorite guests on this show,
Mhm.
hands down. Her performance toward the end of this episode absolutely kills me.
You know, she keeps on asking about her
mhm.
father, but she knows later on that they killed her father.
Yeah, she's
so
faking
Yes, she
real
does.
good.
it's either faking really good or her memory files are still booting up.
That's true.
Mm.
So her
Did
this
she
like
is just kind of tricked herself into thinking it?
That could be
manipulated her?
too. Yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
It's immature.
Yeah.
so like
I'll bet it's more immaturity than
Her
duplicitness at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her storytelling style kind of reminds me of the Tok'ra. Like she's totally skipping over all the crucial parts of the story.
Comparing a Tok'ra to a replicator, harsh. Love it.
I think the Tok'ra
That's the
would
kind of comparison
object.
Jack wants. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that Jack would say. I love it. Ooh. Ooh.
Careful, darling.
Sam, honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dial it back.
Yep. Let's sidebar, please. Let's have a sidebar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not go nuclear, because she could very well go nuclear.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know what's in there. So there is a
I love Jack here. I'm moving.
He wasn't included, but it's just awkward now.
Yeah.
there is a plot error here, where he says in the last time you were a robot, you didn't know it right away.
Yes.
Did you notice this? Yes, because that was not them. That was the other guys. They were either unconscious or sedated or.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, maybe for me in my head canon, I would see it as like, well, Robot Jack didn't know he was right away, I guess. But yeah, no,
Right.
you're right.
That's talking about Robot Jack. But you know what?
But
This
not you. Yeah.
could have been another incident off screen that they're referring to that we don't know about. That's how I organize it.
That's sensible.
Well, clearly it's our creator.
What makes me really sad in this episode is that Jack is usually really like good with kids, and he has an understanding and like this kind of like, you know, desire to look after them and make sure they're protected. And it's so sad that the moment he realizes that she's a replicator, he goes straight to just, that's the enemy.
Yeah.
And that kind of breaks my heart.
He's
a little
like
bit.
kind
Loses
of
the empathy.
He's designed to assess threats.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
I
his.
get it.
That's what
Exactly
he's not
right.
designed that way, but his mandate is that way.
It's just a bit. It's
He's
just
trained
sad
that way.
The training kind of gets in the way of the empathy that he has for kids, because she's still a kid, and Daniel's able to kind of retain that, and it's like.
So Yvie,
know,
are
it's
you
hard.
telling me, Yvie, that Christopher was written out of this scene because of 9/11?
I think he
Likely?
was kind of he was sort of in the background, or kind of written out because he was.
Wow.
You only see him a
just-
handful of
He's
times.
not even here.
personally
I'm just now
affected, so-
realizing this.
Yeah, and in the next episode, kind of as well, because
Because he would have always been here before, even if he had said 2 lines.
Exactly.
You see him when he's guarding one of the replicators in one of the following scenes, and
Correct.
and when
yeah,
he's running around
he
with
is
a gun.
standing
With
there with a
Hammond.
gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Hammond?
No, Sam is
No,
with Hammond.
yeah.
He's with Hammond. Okay, that's right.
Mm.
Well, I'm interested
He's
in
around
playing
his
this
gun,
out from
so.
a Teal'c standpoint and seeing, you know.
Yeah. Well, you get to analyze Stargate from a different perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yes. So on Gate World, Morjana Kaufman made an interesting comment about Reese's design. So she said that we've got like a robot with a child's mentality in a grown woman's body, like she's a young adult at least, but she's very petite, which she felt sort of subtly reinforces that childlike quality. Kind of makes you feel like, you know, sorry for her.
Yeah.
Mhm. can take you back to your planet, and you can keep doing the talking from there. Tell us what happened.
Yeah. Daniel's the perfect person to be doing this. This is the kind of stuff that I love to see.
So if she was sent to the surface, I do know a lot. If she was sent to the surface, she wouldn't just start replicating things, would she?
No, I don't think she'd start immediately.
She would just want to see stuff.
The thing is, it's like to me, it's not like she's programmed to be a monster. It's like for me, what breaks my heart about her is that her character is so feared by people not understanding her that it turns her into a monster. And her reaction is to defend herself because she has a childlike mind.
Also, I'm pretty sure that was just reused footage from the start of the episode.
It was, I think,
just removed 2 of the figures.
I'm sure. Yeah. They probably shot that one first. There he is, and then added 2 more to the shot. So
yeah. So this is Colin Lawrence returning again as Major Warren. We actually haven't seen him since season 3's Foothold.
Okay.
So it's been a hot minute.
Oh, in the elevator, everything's under control,
I
sir.
can't wait to see him in Stargate again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was technically his mimetic self. Here we go.
Oh, see, this is when they find out, and they're like, we
yeah, well, because in the background, Nicole can hear this. There's like this squelching sound and this like snippet of slowed down replicator music.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Joel cluing us in.
Yeah, you can really hear that, the squishy replicator noise.
Yep.
It's interesting, though, out of all the galaxies that the replicators could have come from when they went to visit the Asgard, they came from ours.
The Milky Way is a pain in the bum.
Yeah. And it suggests that a lot of galaxies may be empty.
Every other galaxy must be like just absolutely just, done with the Milky Way. Just like, look what you guys have done to us. Like Pegasus would have been fine if we hadn't gone over there and accidentally made Wraith. Oopsie.
Exactly. We were like Milky Way's like that.
Made no
like,
Wraith.
Naughty younger child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, they're not entirely clued in on the fact that she even made them. Well, the joke that Yvie made. The meme, if anybody saw, was Evie's idea about her being like, yeah, she's just pushing them all away. Just giving us some sort of signal. It's so good.
I thought it was funny. Yeah. Oh, I was like, that just hits home a little too personally.
Yeah. Oh,
here's
classic
Christine
scene.
Anderson.
Oh,
Here we go.
I love this.
Him always playing with stuff.
This is so on the nose. Like mind of a child.
Oh, it's so perfect.
Yep.
It's just RDA, right? Just fiddling with stuff.
Absolutely.
Because he does that in one of the later seasons.
It's a plant.
The plant, yes.
Yeah.
And he did it with Sam as well when she was looking at something.
Oh, what you doing? Yeah, season 4.
Jed said, question, do you prefer the word robot or android? I use the word robot a lot, but I really do prefer the term android. So.
Yep. Or robot, android is more specific.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I was actually going to say, we kind of discussed this before, but I've just gotten to it in my notes. So, I was thinking, they were talking about Reese hiding something, and I was kind of thinking that there might be another option. Like Sam mentioned that Reese's memory operating systems were only at 1% when they found her. She said this like at the beginning of the episode. What if Reese's personality was like irreparably damaged due to her extended downtime?
Low power.
Maybe what we're seeing is just like a fragment of how she was originally built. Like, don't that think it might kind of explain some of her erratic and inconsistent behavior?
Possibly, but she still was childlike because she still went and made toys.
Yeah, true.
So unless she made, self-replicating robots to specifically eradicate a civilization. And I can't really say that I blame her in this situation. She's like, I want out of here. Come on.
Yeah.
This makes me so sad.
I love that scene.
Promise.
Yeah.
So I remember watching this as a kid and just being so crushed for her. And as I've gotten older, my like anger for Jack just goes up so much. I understand that he was working on like his, military brain.
Threat assessment, yeah.
It's not identify with skull. It's such a good line.
Great line.
It's really it's one of the episodes that I like, I think, because it kind of reminds me of The Other Side, where it's got Jack and Daniel on warring sides.
It's very similar.
Yeah. I love it when they don't get along.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of Daniel's line coming up of being flesh and blood is so like, like just wait a couple of episodes, buddy. It's like I am
Yeah.
flesh and blood. Yeah, for now. For now,
Yeah,
you're
for
flesh and
now.
blood.
Oh dear.
Oh boy. I don't
See,
know how she
poor
was never
thing.
told this.
Well, no, she already knows.
Or is she
doesn't
faking?
Yeah, she already knows. She's just annoyed.
She doesn't
She's
want to be
just-
reminded of that fact.
Yeah, she wants to be like everyone else. Like okay, I just want to say this poor child has been forced into this like, android body she didn't ask for. She didn't ask to be brought up like this and have this mind. And then everyone
Yeah.
feared her and wanted her to die when all she wanted to do was, live and be a girl.
I think she's just trying to reinvent herself. Like she's trying to forget her
Yeah.
past and just start afresh as someone new. But now they've reminded her and she's gone all crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I just feel so bad for her.
Yeah, but yeah,
Robot
I don't know.
denial.
I don't know whether I don't know. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I don't know whether to feel sorry for her or not. Like she could have just been that way the
yeah.
entire time, but she's so devious that she was hiding those aspects
No.
of her
No,
personality.
for me, absolutely not. The way I've seen this always, it's like she's too immature in her reactions to everything to have that deviousness, in my opinion. Like I
Most
don't
of
see
what you
that.
say.
This is a great episode for
But
that.
I don't
love
shove
it.
you through a wall.
Yeah, ouchie. I just love the fact that this is a child, and everyone forgets that it's a child, and they think that this robot is
He just scans
manipulating
the
and
code
being
the wrong
nasty.
way around.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. See, look, this is the kind of stuff that I would do. I'd have like a spat with my family and then go straight for that. Do you forgive me? Is it okay? Like I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, see, this poor brain of hers. She's like, you attacked me.
Didn't attack
Like, I don't
you.
know.
Yeah, but to her that was an attack. Like
Verbally,
mentally, like,
yeah.
Yeah, she didn't like what she was hearing and
Yeah,
she was
that's true.
upset. And you know
Mm.
what? If you think back to like when she was, on her planet, she probably got told over and over again that she wasn't like the others, that she was broken and different and alien to everybody. And then they went after her with pitchforks of some kind.
Mm.
And then her dad had to like, well, she shut herself down.
Mhm.
And it's like, silly child brain of hers. Very sad.
She had access to enough metal to build.
Yeah, they didn't realize that they
Exactly.
made that big of an oopsie.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, Daniel's like, thanks for that, Reese, but what's your return policy? It's like a gift.
Oh, look at that.
It's quite cute though, isn't it?
cool. It is cool.
Like,
So if you'll notice, the CG replicator blocks are different in design. They have 3 dots on them, whereas the physical replicator blocks have lines on them. See, look,
see
right
that,
there.
like that.
It's completely
Yes.
different.
Yes, you're completely
don't
That's
right.
a
tap on the
pretty
glass, Jack.
obvious difference that they could have fixed.
Well, I don't know. It could be like a trick of the eye. Like maybe the replicators are
No, it's not.
evolving
You'll see 'em.
faster than
Oh.
a VFX team can keep up.
Because you see them in close up later on when
Yeah,
I
you
think
do.
Daniel falls over and they flap their wings at him.
They do.
Yeah.
But in terms of the visuals for this episode, is just absolutely amazing. Well, those scissors are gone.
Yeah.
Cool effect.
It is cool.
Candy Mitch said, seems like she put her emotions into the replicators she made. Yeah, like she was looking for a friend and she's like letting out her frustration into them.
But when she makes too many of them, she loses control.
Yeah, that's really sad.
She does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll go over well.
About that.
I'm sure the Asgard want to be involved.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
They would be all over that if they
Yeah.
could.
Take
I
that
can't
android
believe
body.
they let
Work
it.
on
It let them put her in a. they no metal bed for you.
Yeah, they just
in a
stripped
box,
back
yeah.
the room.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I would be
With
done
the
with this at this
guns.
point. I'd be like, you know what? Let me go. Take me home.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see your freaking planet anymore. I'm done.
So, Morjana praised Martin Wood's decision. So he was directing this episode, to show the different angles of the isolation room. So she thought it kind of allowed us to see the action from Sam and Tilk's point of view, but from like different angles, and it kind of like helped to ramp up the tension.
Yep.
Yep. Oof.
Uh-oh.
The thing is, it's like not entirely her fault. Like when you get back to it, right? She didn't
don't
make
think so?
herself. You know, well, her
Yeah.
dad made her, and then she made an oopsie. You know.
So Pol Pot's mother is responsible for making Pol Pot, not what Pol Pot did to millions of his own people?
I don't even know who that is. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't going to
Educate me on
use
that
the
later.
one that starts off with an H because everyone only knows about that one.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that one's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, given you use that in that kind of thing. Yeah, but like, so I don't go to blaming the parent on everything, but in this case, it's like she's literally a machine that was programmed and made to be a certain way, and her dad made her a certain way.
Or
you
her
know?
her father's not there to defend himself. Her actions are her own.
I don't see it that way because she's a child.
Okay.
She was given the mentality of a child, and she does not have complete control over it. And you
Or
see the way that she is.
She's, a relatively new sentient being and perceives everything through that lens.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good combination.
Yeah.
You know?
It's an interesting debate for sure.
Candy Mitch says she's a machine, a thing. I mean, we're all
Makes me
things.
so sad.
But what's the difference is the substance that you imbue it. And she
So I have
clearly
a very,
feels.
I have a very similar kind of like response to things. So, and it's something I have to work on personally. But when someone says something to me that I don't like, and that like kind of, sometimes I take personal offense to things.
Sure.
Where like they'll tell me something and I take it kind of
Yeah.
like that. And
Welcome
and
to the
I
human
feel-
race.
Yeah, and I feel the need to like overly defend myself. And it's like if I was her and I was a machine that felt lonely, abandoned, and isolated, I would probably have a very similar reaction. you
Yeah.
know, at an adolescent age. If I was like 14, I'd be doing that,
Okay,
Wouldn't
where
want
did that
to.
container of bug spray come from?
Yeah, so that's the
That's
thing. So
always what I want to know.
didn't they have that
Yeah.
in Small Victories?
They had it in
Yep.
Small Victories.
But they
I
never
think, yeah.
explain how the blocks, and suddenly make bug spray.
Maybe they melt down some of their alloys.
You know what?
Yeah.
We just put that aside.
Just to set that one aside. She felt that it was destroyed, and that's the
When
important
they
thing
munch
going forward.
away, the munch has got to go somewhere.
Oh,
and
I
that's
know,
what the spray is.
absolutely.
So, like, I have a question. Do you think the Asgard have like a messenger service? So, hi, you've reached the Asgard. Please leave a message after the beam.
After the beam.
Beam.
That's funny.
I always think about that episode of Atlantis where Bill's doing the whole like the Twilight bark from
Yes.
101
Oh,
Dalmatians.
man, that's so
And then
funny.
he goes straight to Lord
Lord
of
of
the
the
Rings.
Rings, because everyone
And-
knows that one. Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings.
And I always imagine
The
that
lighting
that's
of the
how they
fires.
contact the Asgard. They just, try to get as close as possible to
Well, they go to
like,
the
edge.
Cthulhu Hall of Wisdom.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But I always assume that when they don't have stuff like that or they're trying to figure something out, they're like, oh, edge of space, send something out there. Don't know why.
So,
Yeah, thank you, Daniel.
I was gonna ask you guys, what do you think about like this being the Replicators' origin story? Like, a Redditor kind of raised an interesting point. Does learning that they came from Reese, essentially a troubled child, make them seem less menacing? Like,
No.
did this backstory oversimplify what was once a complex enemy?
I see it as more complex for me. I think it's
Yeah.
more interesting than they just like sprang up one day from like the to me, like bog standard things is like experiment goes wrong, blah, blah, which is kind of what Reese is. But I think Reese adds an interesting human element to the replicator creation of just like a person who's like suffering and doesn't know how to deal with it. And that's how the monster got made. And I think that that's more interesting than the menacing nature of them originally.
Yeah.
Part of me wishes we didn't get that origin story. And when this episode came out, it took me a little while to Except the fact that, okay, these things are toys. I guess they're toys. I guess I would enjoy having one of them as a toy when I was little.
I do think that
I would
in a
expect
way,
something a little bit more soft and fluffy.
I would have liked
but, you
a
know.
different machine thing
Yeah.
that she made that killed everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've come to really appreciate Reese's story as I've
I
gotten
actually
older.
don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind the Replicator's origin story because it's so
Oh.
out of left field. Like
It really is.
You don't really see it coming.
No, you
No.
go so long of the episode without realizing, and then suddenly the block comes in, and you're like, "Whoa," you know.
Well, I love Tishner's like base idea that something so awful and so transformative can come from something so simple.
Yeah.
And something so innocent,
And innocent.
seemingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what really draws me to this is the fact that it is just Reese is so innocent, you know. She's just child.
She doesn't want to kill these guys. She just wants
No.
out,
Yeah.
you know? But all the replicators want is out.
Like how many, you know, stories of like bad things that happen in the world and bad people.
Yeah.
Seemingly bad people come from like
Yeah.
something as heartbreaking as like abandonment and trust issues and stuff, you know? It's a very, I love Android stories because they tell such a human story. Because it's that whole thing about how like sci-fi and fantasy are not a story about the future or the past. They're a story about the now through a different
Yeah,
lens.
they're allegorical.
Yeah, and that is
Yeah.
what Reese is. You know, Reese is kind of just, you know, what happens when you don't treat someone right and you make judgments on things
Yeah.
like that, you know?
So, like, Sam was like questioning where the other replicators came from. So I kind of had a few theories about what's going on with these replicators, and I'm curious to know what you guys think. So I think the first option would be, like Carter suggested, did Reese have a secret stash of blocks on standby? I think option 2 would be maybe Daniel's little replicator friend was sneakier than we thought and managed to multiply before he even knew it existed. Like, were there like replicators?
Well, she
fighting
just
in the
said,
ceiling
you
or
know,
something?
she must have had enough metal to make 2 of them the first time of the round. I
Yeah.
think that this is more that she knows that they are more than just toys. They also know
Yes.
that she also knows that they are her protectors. And I
'Cause
think
I
she
was-
made enough to make one more.
Yeah.
So, and also that one, there was a chance that she knew that it would be taken away from her, and through it, she would be able to see
Possibly.
elsewhere in the base through its eyes.
Yeah, that's
I do
true.
think that the term toy that she uses is like just a simplified version for like her mind.
Or a
Because she's such
companion.
a child.
maybe.
She doesn't really like have any other way to put it. So she just says toy because she doesn't have a full understanding of like, you know.
Maybe
That's her
because
limited
I was thinking
vocabulary,
like
Yeah.
I was thinking that because she was like eyeing off that camera. So I was kind of thinking that maybe she was like sizing it up for potential replicator matter.
I like
This
that.
is so cool.
This is a very
It's
cool shot.
really cool. It's like supervillain vibes. Also, this is like one of the rare times that we see Hammond in combat fatigue
Yeah, he
wielding
looks
a
good.
shotgun.
Yep.
Yeah. And he teaming up with like Carter is like the duo I wasn't expecting to
Father
love.
daughter kind
Yeah,
of
wasn't
vibes
expecting you
almost.
wanted. Yeah, didn't realize you want. Yep.
Didn't realize I wanted it.
Roger just said this would be the origin story of the second generation of replicators, as the first generation was the Asurans. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I thought. But like, it's a weird timeline of replicator on replicator because how many
Yeah.
iterations and who really is the starter of everything?
Yeah.
know?
I
did
always
someone find
believed
blueprints?
that Reese's father was Janice.
Oh, I love that idea so much.
Oh, that is interesting.
David, that is a spicy idea. And as a lover of Janice, I'm really for it. But I feel sad as to what he created. If
Yeah.
That's the case.
I mean, I think he probably knew better because the replicators that he knew were generations before him. But at the same time, you know, I think he created this android probably as a companion
Yes.
for being so lonely. And then she went and, you know, the whole ancient design of what they are was also in her system. And she came to a lot of the same conclusions, i.e. another kind of replicators.
Yeah.
Because they are of a completely different kind. Which is the only explanation, as far as I'm concerned, that these replicators spending a long enough time alone by themselves were able to mimic the design and shape of what came from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that.
It's never explicitly stated in the show that the Asuran replicators are the grandparents of the Milky Way replicators. It's never explicitly stated, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I love Joel's music in this episode.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Oh, this is such a cool shot as well. Like, oh, it's just so menacing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is,
menacing, really? Menacing?
Yeah, I think it's
Interesting.
menacing.
Then title. They're now painting her in such a negative light, and it's so sad. And it's like everyone's now gone completely like DEFCON 1. She's evil, and it makes me so sad.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence about whether this was her intention all along. I was going to say as well, like, Nicole, you keep calling her a child. She's actually 2 years younger than Michael Shanks.
What?
What? I think it's 2 years. They're actually really
Damn,
close
she
in
looks
age.
good.
Michael was also young.
He was,
Yes,
but
yeah, he's
wow.
a baby too.
I mean, she's quite
But we're
short.
not calling him a child.
She's got great complexion. So,
Yeah.
and her acting does so much for her youth in this. But she's got a mind of a child. That's why I keep calling her a child. I don't actually think the
Yeah.
actress looks like a child. If not, yeah, that's
Also, I think we kind of missed it, but you should keep an ear out and also an eye out for her footwear, because like currently she's
She
wearing
has some
heeled
good
boots.
shoes, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say
Is
it
there a goof?
changes, but yeah,
Really? Her footwear?
yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Well, it's definitely heeled boots, and you can hear it making noises against the
Oh,
ramp.
see, I'm right here with the I want to
Right
be
in the
your
feels.
friend.
Yep.
It's like, and the way she looks, like I cannot believe in any way that any of this is manipulation, because it's him manipulating her right now, and she is like, if she wanted Daniel to die and to kill everybody, she would, She's just.
I believe
got
that he's I
such
believe that
young
he's in
mind.
earnest as soon as he can get to her neck.
Yeah, that's what really upset me, is that I feel she really like trusts him, and he's the one person she does kind of trust. And then to have him betray her like everyone else had in the past, of course she's
Yeah.
gonna react poorly. Like, look how genuine this is, and look, she just wants to be loved. Look, Daniel, you sack of.
See right there, the dots.
Yes, the dots. Yes.
Flying is bad. I love how the replicators fly up the wall and over the camera.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
is
was
really
such
cool.
a
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
idea. Yeah. Such a good shot.
But even in this moment, right? She doesn't kill Daniel. She's not killing him.
No,
She's upset. She's not doing it.
She doesn't want anyone to die. She just wants out of there.
I can't believe that anything that she's doing is nefarious or bad. She's just sad. I want to give her a hug, and I want to take her out for some food that she probably won't be able to eat, but she can at least look at and smell.
And she'll thank you with a replicator.
But you would never be
I'm
sure of
okay
her
with it.
motives. So
Yes.
that's the thing.
I don't know. I trust her implicitly. I don't know how else to say it. I honestly don't think she's bad. She's just got issues. This is the
Aw.
thing, when you have androids in a story, people just feel they can't trust them because like the whole programming thing. But like, we have Harlan, the only like surviving android that we get to really appreciate on this show.
And he
was
went and duplicated us, for crying out loud. So
I know, but no one
Yeah.
ever had problems with him being an android. Everyone was like, yeah, he's fine, But every other android we come across, we got beef. It's sad.
Gotta do some quick talking here, Daniel.
Yeah. This part really hurts me. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
so upset.
and some parts,
It's a
some things
big
get.
gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Were they actually attacking in that moment?
What do you mean?
The replicators?
Were they
They're
attacking?
moving
Were they
towards
just
the
preparing,
forces. Yeah.
Or were they
Yeah.
actually attacking in that moment? Did
They
everyone
were
just
starting
kinda
to.
spring
They
on it
were
a bit
beginning to
fast?
advance. They want out.
I don't know
So.
if someone just had an itchy trigger finger.
So
Get
what
all
is
panicked.
this bomb? What is this thing made of?
Isn't it just like a
don't
big ass
know.
nuke? Also, there was a shot there with the corridor where there are replicators running around, and there's a mount that they're kind of crawling on. I think they reused that shot in season 8 when the replicators
Yep.
are
All
about.
kinds of
Oh,
things.
yes. of
Yeah,
course.
because Jack is in this corridor again.
Yep.
While Daniel, Carter, and Teal'c are doing their things.
Yep.
And he's standing right there trying to shoot the replicators down the exact same corridor.
It's the same threat, so you'll
Yeah.
find a lot of the shots in this episode
like
are
that.
reused in that.
I'm
yeah.
all right with that. So. Jed
Jeez.
Ted said, "Does this unit have a soul?" Jed Ted, that was mean. there's this robot in Mass Effect 3 called Legion who's my favorite, and he's part of the enemy forces and no one trusts him. And then when he's about to die, he turns to everyone and says, "Does this unit have a soul?" And then he dies, and I cry every time.
You know the
Mm.
story
can't.
behind that name, right?
Legion?
Uh-huh.
No.
Christ casts a demonic spirit into a bed of pigs. And as it's being destroyed, he asks, "What is your name?" And it says, "Our name is Legion, for we are
That's
many."
really. I've always wondered what Legion actually meant. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for the for an android that people don't trust to be given that kind of name.
It's thinking.
Yeah, see, I'm starting to identify with this replicator more and more.
Brilliant. See, here's the moment. So there's always this question toward the end of the episode when the replicator does that. Is it Reese trying to assert control again, or properly, or is it
She's thinking.
or is it her thinking? And they ask
she's
that question in
thinking
a
things
minute.
over.
But to
Yeah.
me, I've always seen it as she's thinking things over because the replicators would carry on doing their thing. She hasn't come to, like they're not losing control. They're going to carry on killing. That's what they. The only reason they'd slow down is because of Reese. You know. And I don't see this as crocodile tears because she's most.
No, I believe her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no actual tears, but
Why
she's
she
an
shut herself
android.
off? Because she was in
Yeah.
so much pain. They all left. They all left her planet. So.
Oh, I would have really loved Reese to come back. Every time they reference her, it makes me really sad.
That's the thing. I wish that, because they did hand her over to the Asgard.
Yeah.
But they would just refer to her
And
as
they
like the
studied her.
android.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could
That
have
also
been
kinda
the
hurt my
key to
feelings.
stopping them.
She has the name. Yeah.
These red lit, with the red lights, the panels behind Sam to the right, those are
Yes.
later moved to the Daedalus set and the Prometheus set.
Oh, cool.
It matches the color scheme.
Uh-huh.
So. Oh, Jack, I'm so every time I'm always like, please don't, don't like it's gonna change this time.
The tone in Tilk's voice coming up, it's like one that we don't usually hear from him. He actually sounds like really stressed.
This is a shot 3
yeah,
years later.
I'd be
That's a
stressed.
great sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big stress. No, Jack, you
Oh,
son
her
of
foot.
a.
Well, keep an eye on her shoes. They're different.
Oh
They're
yeah.
like flat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ah.
So maybe it's a new replicator feature we didn't know about.
Oh, she's closing up.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. It's like buckshot.
Mm,
She shut him off. She didn't have to do that.
yeah.
See, I could never believe this is malicious. I'm forever angry at Jack about this.
He
So-
made his call,
I know.
Yeah, he did.
just like he does, to betray Fifth in just a few episodes.
Oh, don't get me
Yeah.
started on that either.
Yeah.
So
Jack's
I have
lack of trust of androids pisses me off.
Daniel
A
Michael's
lot-
great. His acting here is
He's
great.
very good. So I have a lot that I wanted to squeeze into like the next couple of minutes. So I'll
go,
Go ahead,
just
go ahead.
quickly go through it. So this interaction between Jack and Daniel is so freaking powerful. Like Jack understands Daniel's angry about the whole situation, and they like, they had a lack of options. But as Mojana said in Gate Worlds, like it's refreshing to see adult characters who can disagree without losing respect for each other. Like real friendship isn't about always agreeing, it's about like understanding. And Jack was willing to let Daniel hate him if it meant like keeping him safe. And a Redditor shared an interesting take on the scene. They loved how it showcased Jack and Daniel's contrasting viewpoints, like without painting either of them as completely right or completely wrong. And in their eyes, Daniel saw Reese as like a powerful but misguided child who just needed proper guidance, where Jack, on the other hand, as we've sort of discussed, viewed her as more of a dangerous machine with a history of violence. And like being a military leader, Jack couldn't gamble everyone's safety on the chance that Daniel's approach might work. Um, yeah, it is very
I'm all
powerful
for
stuff.
I'm always a give a chance because like without chances, like what even are we?
Well,
You
you
know,
also
like
grew up with Battlestar Galactica. You know, they let the Cylons go in the
Mm,
yeah.
end, and
I actually hadn't seen Battlestar obviously when I saw this
oh,
episode.
that's
I
true.
think
Okay.
I always had a I don't know why. I think that's why I like Battlestar so much, just because these kinds of episodes are the ones that affect me the most.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So I think even though Reese was irreparably damaged, the Asgard will find a command code in her
Yep.
calling all the replicators forward.
Yep.
And this eventually leads to the creation of the human form replicators in unnatural selection.
When they have enough time on their hands.
Mm. And I think Joe Malozzi was a big fan of Reese and Danielle Nicolette's performance.
Yep.
And I think he even started brainstorming ways to bring her back right after killing her off, but it didn't quite pan out. So
She's
either
the
way, I
lead
think she
villain in
left.
Stargate Oblivion, the six-book novel series that I created.
Ah.
Yeah. She wasn't
So yeah, she
destroyed.
definitely made a mark on the series for sure.
Yep.
I'm currently trying to like restrain tears.
Oh,
There you go. It's a
As soon as
strong
as soon
episode.
as they start screaming at each other about like being friends and saving her,
Yep.
I start bawling because
'Cause Daniel's being genuine.
good. Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
it's
Alrighty, folks. That was Menace. Thanks for watching.
I've cried so far twice in this show on these streams, and that has been, you know what? It's the damn kids. It's the damn kids that get me.
Oh, what about in 2 episodes' time?
That's not going to bother me. He comes back. I know he's fine.
That's
I
true.
got upset the first few times,
That's
but
true.
yeah, it's like it's just Daniel's
Yeah,
dead
true.
again.
That's
Yeah,
my
I-
issue
I'm
with
just-
Sunday. It cheapens
It
Beckett's
does.
sacrifice to bring him
Yeah,
back.
for sure.
And I said
For
that
sure.
Jeff
to
said
Paul's
that.
face. And, you know, he was, I mean, you could see underneath the surface, he's like, yeah, but I like getting paid. So,
Yeah, I spoke to
I don't
Jeff
blame him.
Golker about that, and Jeff was like, hashtag not my Beckett every time he saw
really?
it.
Yeah. Other Beckett.
Every time. Yeah, he
Yeah.
got
This
really
kind
he
of
was
other
pretty
Beckett.
he was pretty grumpy. He sat there going, nah, this is
I
bull.
wish
And
Carson
Yeah.
stayed dead. I think
Yeah.
that Sunday is my favorite episode. And
It's a
I
good
think his
episode.
death would have been
Yeah.
more meaningful had he stayed dead. It was my
Yeah.
same issue that I had when Ronan gets killed the last few minutes of Enemy at
Ugh.
the Gate, and then they bring him back, and it's like, okay,
Cheap.
come on. Yeah.
It's like you're shocking us the first time.
And he
it's not
died
gonna
really
get us
well.
anymore.
Yeah.
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 Very good.
Anyway.
I think I'm gonna go first on this episode
Okay.
because I love it so damn much. So I think I've spent this whole episode going on about like childhood trauma. It's
Yeah, I was gonna say like without going into details, but I think maybe your history has
I've got
affected how you view this episode.
I've got
Really?
such a
No.
Yeah.
I've got such a defense of the child and blame on the parent thing where it's
Yeah.
like I know that like kids get to a certain point where they can't blame their parents for everything anymore. However, she's programmed still to be young, and it's very hard to grow out of that.
Hmm.
And so I feel extra. I'd feel terrible being stuck in a permanent state of adolescence
Mm.
and not knowing what's going on and abandonment issues.
We don't know if that's the thing, though. We don't know if she's stuck in a permanent state of adolescence. She may have only
I
been
don't know.
online for a limited period
I would
of
have
time.
loved to see if
Yeah.
she was able to grow out of it,
Yeah.
but Jack ruined it. So I'm all for forgiveness and helping people be better and finding, like some light in all the crap. And it's I understand why Jack did what he did, but it still bummed me out. Because yep, go ahead, go David.
No, this is your review. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you have to say.
If the alternative was your entire civilization being transformed into Lego bricks, how long would that morality go?
Yeah.
No, I get it.
So-
I do get it. It's and I understand, which is why I do forgive Jack, even though I'm bitter. But it just does suck that a lot of the time it's like people see things as threats so much, and they're so full of fear that people are not able to have sometimes in any situation the empathy that they need and understanding to like be able to find a better outcome and a better world. And so that always upsets me because it's like I think that there are some people who are truly monsters, but Reese to me was never truly a monster in any way, shape, or form. Poor thing, just needed a good hug. So I'm
I
gonna
do
give
think
this
that
one-
wouldn't have hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would like I think everyone could have just been a little bit nicer. As soon as replicators come out, everyone's like, oh no, end of the world, and it's like, no, maybe not. If anything, if they were able to turn her to their side properly and like actually get down to it, they could have maybe had some better solutions. But the paranoia and fear.
But how
about
many
replicators is
chances
too much.
how many chances do you give her though?
That's the thing,
This
Oh, here
is
come
like
those lovable SS
Like,
officers.
it's okay.
Let's
There's
sit
only
down and
replicators in the
talk.
base. They
Well,
haven't gone beyond the base. That's okay. If we
Chances-
can contain him to the base,
she
that's fine.
barely got a chance. She woke up on a planet she doesn't know with people she doesn't know after being abandoned and betrayed and almost like killed by her people and betrayed.
You
to
know
the
why they
core.
did that? Because she
I
was
know.
killing them.
But it was like they didn't understand.
They grew to be too numerous, and she couldn't control them anymore.
Yeah, I do understand
So-
that, but I feel like with SGC, with their knowledge and their comprehension of the situation, especially with Daniel and Sam at the helm, I feel like they could have maybe found a solution.
I lost
Sad
control
sense.
of my vehicle. I killed a whole family of people, but I didn't mean to. It's not my
Yeah.
fault that I lost control. Well, you lost control of the vehicle.
It does suck. It does. That is terrible.
Yeah,
But
so-
this is science fiction, and I believe in.
What was
in
your rating,
things
Nicole?
coming
Did you give
back.
it a rating?
Yeah.
6.
A
A
6.
6.
Okay.
Because
okay.
science fiction is a nice, warm way of.
It's
trying to make
allegorical.
the
It allows
world
us to
better.
have these conversations.
Yeah, and so
That's what it does. This is my favorite part of every episode.
I like
When
these ones.
when an episode, not every episode allows us to get so
Heated and emotional.
Worked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
whipped up. There you go.
Yeah,
Evie,
which is
you
the
want
one
to
that-
review it, or do you want me to?
I can go.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm still on the fence about whether I believe that she was truly innocent.
this
or not.
infuriates me. Your opinion
Really?
infuriates me.
Yeah,
I respect it,
I'm
but
not
it,
sure.
but
Let's
I'm
answer
like,
that
I
for a
just
minute.
think, I just think that maybe she was. I don't know. In my head, I think my canon is that she that she was kind of affected by the reboot a little bit. Like she wasn't all the way there when she was rebooted. Like Sam said that her memory was only at 1% and they weren't sure if they were going to be able to resurrect her. So I think she was sort of
Power,
a little
her
bit
power.
extra
the power
her
was
power.
at 1%, not memory.
Yeah.
But
It may have
yes,
corrupted some
but
files.
I think it corrupted. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
insane.
I think
Totally.
it corrupted some files.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think what we're seeing is not maybe who she was originally, but who she was originally was also a little bit damaged. But I think it was exasperated by, her reboot, if that makes sense. But I don't know whether I want to believe that she was innocent the entire time or if she was actually malicious the entire time, but she was almost like psychopathic, I guess.
The last time before
Like-
she shut down, it ended worse. So
Yeah.
let's all keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
I do say
Exactly.
that I think the writers, just jumping in on that, I think the writers'
Mm.
idea was that I think she was mostly innocent with the way they portrayed her, and then by the end with her,
I think they've
choosing to
left it on the fence. Like I
They
think
chose-
they've
she
left
chose
it
to
for us
shut them
We
down.
don't know
decide.
for sure.
okay, well,
Yeah.
We don't know.
she chose
I
to shut them
believe
down,
that she
in
did.
my opinion. Yeah, I feel like
We-
that's how they framed it. I feel like that's how they intentionally framed it. The director and the writers, to me, from how I looked at it, I was
Daniel
like,
was just
that is so
guessing.
clearly
though.
framed.
Also, okay, so
Guessing.
my
She
other-
was
this is
moving
not-
in that direction
yeah,
plot wise,
Okay.
but it's
Evie, carry on.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was going to
sorry.
say, but the thing I was thinking about this yesterday, and Daniel didn't even show that much emotion when Martouf died, who was an actual ally and was not in control of his actions. And he was in the gate room when that happened too.
I suspect
So
they
I'm
mourned
like-
him later.
Yeah,
I
the Martouf
don't
thing didn't really
know.
have a lot of time to settle. I think the thing with Reese is that I think the reason that it's so upsetting and why I find it so upsetting, why Daniel's so upset, is that it's not like just an ally or anybody. It's a child, and Daniel sees her as a young girl who just needs help. So losing I think the way Daniel kind of viewed it was that they were losing a person who just needed help.
I think the way that Daniel saw it was that Jack just shot a kid.
Yeah, that's how I saw it.
Um,
I saw it. Jack just shot a child, you know, and
I don't know.
also as Jack being like, and that's why I kind of get irked by Jack. There is that Jack is always about kids and loving and
Yeah.
helping.
Not saying it didn't have to be done, but
No,
it doesn't make
no.
it easy.
But it's really
guess
shocking to me that he would just shoot a
Edie,
child.
wrap up your review.
I just
Tell us
I've
what you
never
think.
really I've never really viewed her as a child. I've just viewed her as a young adult. Anyway, so
I feel like this is why Evie doesn't like
not...
Battlestar Galactica. I feel like you know that we have different feelings on robots, which is why you and I are disagreeing so much. that I love them. I'm like, they're people, and you're like,
Let
no,
her
they're
finish,
malicious.
Nicole. Let her finish.
Sorry, yeah.
We have miles to go before we sleep.
Yeah, we do.
So I think my rating would be more along the lines of a 5. I think previously it would have been a 4. But I think the performances of the cast, I think, have ramped it up an extra level for me. So I think I'm gonna go with a 5.
I really like that we disagree so much, and it's still a 5 and a 6. I think that's really good. David, you haven't shared yours.
I wish that James Titchener had written more.
Yeah.
I know he continued with Metamorphosis in season 6. His stories had kind of more of a technical component, which I really appreciate. But this episode is a 6 for me. The guest star is wonderful. Had what they had to deal with while the episode was being shot elevates, I think, a lot of the performance and what they were able to get done with. That was a hard a hard week for them to shoot, and this episode shows that a simple story, a simple idea, can lead to such profound change and transformation for a franchise, for a universe. This is a 6 for me. Yeah,
I'm glad that we're kind of on a same thread.
I'm so glad.
When the apocalypse comes and the robots come to kill us all, it's gonna go one way or the other for me. Like, because I'm a robot loving person, so I'm either gonna be like one of their slaves they're gonna keep, or they're just gonna kill me for being so naive. So
yeah, the bumper sticker you could see and a T-shirt you could see for a while between seasons 3 and 4 of Battlestar Galactica was "Don't blame me, I voted for Roslyn. I welcome our new Cylon overlords."
Okay, so we've got some interesting opinions here. So, and some things to say about robots. I'm still quite upset about this episode. I need a tissue or something at some point. Anthony says this one is a 5 for me. Jean Diada, I gave it a 2. Okay. Jack was right. Shanks absolutely rocked it, but Daniel was too emotional, not seeing the big picture. I just never thought we needed this story told. Whoa. And this is a Daniel episode. I thought Jean Diada would be a bigger supporter for it. All right. Stuart says 5 out of 7. Shimmering Victoria, 4. I'm gonna have to go with Jack on this one. Oh my god. Whoa. Anthony, I was between a 4 and a 5, but he gave it a 5. Raj Luthra, my rating is a 6 out of 7. Jed Ted 6. Chevys, I love how they gave the replicators an origin. Jean Diada said, but Nicole, she wasn't people. Who are you to judge who people are?
Another fan.
Randall Wong said her mother made her wrong. Her father made her wrong. Yeah. Well, I'm sad. Why I blame the dad a lot. Lockwatcher, it's a 6. Danielle, Nicolette, wow, would have liked to see her character come back. Great to see Hammond defending his facility. Yes, that was very cool. We did not touch upon that enough. Very cool. I would not want to be stuck with her name in the gift exchange.
Yes.
Who said that? Who said that?
Lockwatcher.
That is great.
That is,
you know
hilarious.
what you're getting for
Really
your
good.
Secret Santa / White Elephant
replicators. Oh my goodness. Jed Tess said always blame the parents. Dan Ben said 2 out of 7. It's one I skip. This is I can't believe how big the
swing is.
Yeah. Lockwatch said something about possibly the Asgard built a new android body and download Reese's memories into that body. Could have had it back like that, or even find her the real her,
they
the
could
real
have.
girl it was based on. Yeah.
Danielle might. I mean, I bet Danielle was just not available. She was an LA actress.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And she's gone on to do all kinds of great things. So that's
Candy
a
Mitch
great
said,
question to ask Joe and Paul if they asked her.
Candy Mitch said Jack shooting her and didn't trust Daniel to talk her down was something. She said a 6.
Jack rarely trusts Daniel.
That's the thing that makes me sad is that they have this respect, but he just doesn't. His military mind, it comes so front and center in these situations, which I
Because
completely
he's
understand.
thinking about multiple lives, not just one.
I know, but it makes me sad when you lose a person who had the potential.
He's got to be.
Good.
He needs to be a big picture person. Daniel's more of a little picture person.
My favorite stories are always the ones where an individual has so much potential to be good and something bad happened to make them bad, and that's how I see Reese. And
people aren't just bad.
That's what I mean.
There are some people who are born psychopaths. There's
bad.
just something that's just wrong. And their parents are like, I don't know what was ever wrong with them. And their parents saw something, when they were really little, but never said anything to everyone because it's their kid. And, they'll just deal with it. Oh, no, I don't know why he's enjoying hurting all of these animals. But, hopefully it's just a phase. But generally speaking, most situations, it's not that. Something's happened to them. Yeah. And, oh gosh, we could go on and on about this.
I feel such empathy for Reese. I just can't even. I think there's a couple more things said here. Oh, and Ted's bringing up Mass Effect doing this. So there's like a ship AI that's played by Trisha Helfer, who has a whole human storyline in Mass Effect. She was in Mass Effect 2 and 3. Oh, 2 and 3. So she's a fantastic.
I've got to sit down and play these games.
It's phenomenal.
That's the one with Shepard, right?
Yeah, and then in the second one you have Edie, who's Trisha Helfer, who has her whole story about being an AI, but then you also have Legion, who is the one that I love, who comes in the second one, and no one trusts him either. And then in Mass Effect, you give him the chance, and then you can shut him down, but you sit there and you can go, he could kill us all, or he could be the thing Nicole. We need. No, but that's what I mean. I'm saying he is the Reese of this kind of situation, as in giving that android the opportunity to give us something. So I would have liked that. And now we can. Oh, here we go. Giandiana said, "I'd love to hear Nicole defend Frankenstein's monster next." I have so many defenses of him, but we're not doing that today. We are not doing that today.
Oh, and thank you for calling it Frankenstein's monster and not.
Yeah, I was going to say Yvie gets really irked about that.
Yeah, it's one of my pet
your
peeves.
myths. Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate Yvie for standing so hard on that because it is Okay, I have Sentinel booted up. By the way, we can finally move on.
Oh, we have your permission. Oh, I'm glad. All right.
Let me get it booted up as well.
Very good, folks. Very good. This is the kind of conversation that I enjoy having. I enjoy looking at the clock and being, okay, we went for 2 hours and a half. It's like, okay. That was a good. Sorry for Yvie for not getting any sleep Monday morning, but
Raj Luther also said
this is the best excuse for no sleep.
There you go.
Isaac from the Orville.
From the Orville.
Yes,
I love him as well.
That's
great
another
example
topic.
of someone who knew what he was doing was wrong and did it anyway.
Yep.
So
love it.
Yeah. Okay. If you haven't seen the Orville, you must go watch the Orville.
Yes, I agree. Great show.
You guys ready?
All right. Yep.
I just realized it's up to me.
Yeah.
Waiting on you, buddy.
Okay, the Sentinel in 5, 4, 3. You're watching the Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Yvie.
Hello.
And Nicole.
Hello. You got it in the right order.
And this is a previously on.
Yes. I can't believe how far back we're going. Loving it.
I know. So, Greaves and Kershaw weren't actually in Shades of Grey. So, this was edited.
Yes, it's the one previously on that. Yep.
Yeah, they replaced Newman and Tobias, I think. And I think Joe Malozzi called it backselling.
Yep, I think it's
backselling the characters.
Definitely the first, if not the only time that the previously on was edited to show folks in the room that we missed. And there were definitely more people in there, so they're not rewriting the characters.
This is a previously on that makes, them doing that makes a lot of sense. Because it's a very clever way to just have them kind of introduced in a...
Yeah,
and both of those actors were invited back, and they weren't available, so they went with these.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
and with someone who has a little bit of facial blindness, it I don't think even occurred to me that they were different actors.
It really so I actually hadn't seen the episode that they previously on for because I obviously skipped season 2 and 3 my first ever time.
In a crazy order. Yep.
So I actually didn't realize, and then I went back and watched season 2, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" And that's when I realized they'd edited it. So, yeah.
If you ever have a free moment, email us the watch order that you watch the shows in. I would love to have that on file. Just for my own...
insane order. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I will slap one together eventually. You know me and my procrastination.
Yes, I'd be curious to know as well.
Yeah.
So you'll see I guess it's kind of a goofy goof in a second. The patch on Walter's uniform still lists his name as Norman Davis. Would have thought they would have changed it by now.
Yeah, after 2010,
been like a whole,
they really should have
been like a whole
it.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
like to be
SG-1,
like-
don't you have something to do when you're on Earthside? Or the gate activates, and so it's like, oh, what's going on?
We happen to be here.
Write a paper or something.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't be any of these. Like, I wish I was a Sam or Daniel or Teal member of SG-1. I'm such a Jack. Like, when it comes to it, I do stuff, but like, it's the other stuff. Or more of Ronan, like record my reports on audio, make it as short as possible and leave.
Yes. So Grogan just had a little slip of the tongue. So he called himself a sergeant when he's actually a lieutenant. So it seems like he might be anticipating his own demotion, considering his history of blunders.
This is also very reminiscent of Double Jeopardy, where the start of the episode, we're going through, and a Goa'uld has retaken a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the return of David Kopp from
yes, it's good to see
earlier in season
him.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him on. I've been meaning to reach out to him.
I'm not going to lie. All the recruits are such cutie patooties.
Yep, trying to get Grace Park before the season closes.
Oh my God. I would do
yes.
anything as a Cylon lover. Please.
I reached out to her earlier this year, and her management said she's a little busy right now. So it was not a no.
Oh, so it wasn't a no.
Oh, that's
so
nice,
I put
though.
6
So
months
polite.
notification in my phone, and it's overdue by about a week because I was gone. So this week I'm going to be reaching out to her management to beg
I wish
and
you the
plead.
best of luck.
Yes, because I'm collecting.
That would be
I'm kind
incredible.
of collecting my Cylons.
Lockwatch just said Henry Gibson passed away yesterday in 2009. Like, so the anniversary of his death
Yes,
was
he
yesterday.
did. Yeah, there was a anniversary
that's
recently. He was
right.
73.
Yeah.
So he died of cancer, sadly.
What a great performer! I've seen him in a few
I
different things.
know. So he
here
actually
we go.
started out as an Air Force intelligence officer before acting.
Real
which is
life.
kind of
Wow,
cool.
okay.
Yeah. And for those who joined our midweek movie like a few months back, he actually was in Inner Space. He played Mr. Wormwood. He was like the grocer manager of the grocery store. And he was also Father O'Neill in Wedding Crashers and Judge Clark Brown in Boston Legal.
Oh, Wedding Crashers. What a
I
classic.
love
Yes.
this. This is so funny.
Alona
He's
Reed
just
is
adorable.
Here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mum.
And it's Alana, isn't it? Alana.
Uh-huh.
Your mum's
I
name.
don't know why I say Alona.
Alana.
Alana. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was paying attention to the video. Hello, Mom.
Yeah. That's why I said it, David.
I wasn't paying attention to what you guys were saying. I was watching the text because I can't hear it. Unlike some people who can listen to it, I've got to record it.
Yeah, poor David. We need to sort that out.
Yes.
David.
Uh-huh. All right. Anyway.
So this is an episode that I don't love, and maybe I'll like it more after we watch it together. So I'm
Interesting.
hoping
Yeah.
something. The camera was cute. That's a pretty funny, cute moment.
It is very cute.
And seeing Grogan again is going to be pretty great for my eyes because he's adorable. So
He's very cute. So this little bit coming up is really tiny, but I think it's actually kind of beautiful. So Tilk's reaction to Daniel's sarcasm is adorable. Like, it's as if the very concept of sarcasm, like, which is a form of lying, doesn't align with Tilk's view of Daniel, a man who's like,
Right.
he sees as straightforward and honest.
Yeah.
So he's like the opposite of an NID operative.
brilliant.
So this
But
is
I'm glad
a
we get to see him
return
actually
of-
talking for a while.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, of Grogan?
No, Teal'c.
Oh,
of being
okay, yes,
back,
absolutely.
Because
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not huge in
this is a return of Svarog, which is kind of a back cell of one of the
Yes.
unnamed Goa'uld from
Correct.
Summit in the Last Stand,
Summit,
according to Joseph
yes.
Malazzi, the Goa'uld with
Some
the
of our
green
favorites.
face paint was Farog.
Correct.
As far as
yeah.
I'm concerned,
Yep.
it just happened to be the next unnamed Goa'uld on the list, and so they're like, "Hey, it's that guy." But that's according to production.
Yes,
So.
that's what I'd written into my notes also.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Well, when we
I
touch
can
on
just
these
see
notes,
you
We
just
share the
scratching those
facts.
out.
just gives us
We
time
share the facts.
Yeah.
share responsibility and
This is an awfully
and give
nice
us time to talk about other
facility.
things.
It is nice. So this is Frank Cassini as Greaves. So this is his only Stargate appearance, but he's had like quite a diverse career. So he appeared in a few big films like Watchmen and Goodfellas, and also like shows like X-Files, Outer Limits. And I think he's
Classics.
branched out into writing as well,
Really?
and he's got like several screenplays and a web series under his belt. And I think he's working as an acting coach,
Hmm.
but I don't know how recent that is.
Mm.
I love that we're going back and mining from this episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is why we like season 4 and 5 so much, because we're pulling so much forward from
Trying
previous
to tie up
episodes.
some loose ends.
Yeah, it's good.
Another benefit of a long-running series.
Yeah. Like, I do like the fact that this storyline, like, was they dove into it in season 2, 3, and now 5, and it's like, oh, good, you know, some of the mistakes that we humans did are still coming back, and it's fun.
Yeah.
They don't.
And I'm not even
restart
mad
events.
entirely about what he's saying.
He's
Yeah,
right.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
But there's also what's right and what's wrong.
That's the
exactly.
bottom line.
Yeah. They
Lockwood
fixed the
said-
device. They reassembled it correctly,
They
but they
did.
shot
They
they
did.
shot the guy who was keeping it.
Logwatch said not my favorite episode, but Henry Gibson helps. Yeah.
Yes, he's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben.
Oh. Oh.
He's just gonna bypass that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Gonna live that long.
He's SG-1.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I've only seen this episode twice, so I'm
Oh,
like-
really?
I don't remember half of this, which is
Oh,
great.
really? Okay.
Yep. which
Actually,
is
I've
why I'm
probably
quite
only
quiet.
seen it. I've probably only seen it a handful of times as well.
It's one
'cause
I
I'm the
like never rewatch. so.
Yeah, I'm kind of the type of person who doesn't usually do like a full rewatch. So sometimes I'll like skip certain episodes, and I think this might be one that I skip.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I don't even do full rewatches. I have like a mood watch where I'll just
Yes.
be in the mood for like, oh, time travel episodes, and I just watch all of those in a row.
I
And
love
then I'll
this
be
sequence.
like Android ones. So
This
yeah.
is so cool.
It is very cool. Yeah. I like this guy in the white coat. He only just makes it
Yeah.
before it closes.
Didn't give him much time.
And this guy's like,
I sold that.
which one?
Oh,
The
the
gun.
turret.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
ah,
So cool. I love this.
it's a cool shot.
Yeah.
I always think about this shot when I think about that trailer for the Stargate game that they had on the DVDs for
Yes.
season 8.
Ah,
Because they have that shot
Yeah, that's true.
in the trailer, and it always
They
kind
were
of
doing it. Oh, that was
This guy's like,
oh, what's the name
Uh-oh.
of it? Yeah, the
is it,
the
is
first
it a
video game.
bird? Is it a
it's a
hunter?
missile.
No,
They're
it's a guided
gone.
missile.
I used to remember what it was called. Now I don't. It's really annoying me. I'll remember later.
So I think, yeah, this is a first for this episode as well, the guided missiles.
Yeah, it's very cool. I love when Teal'c uses it. Well, not Teal'c. What's the other guy called? Teal'c gives the thing to the other guy in season 8 when he's in Sacrifices, and they use it to kill. Is it Moloch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stargate
yes.
SG-1 The Alliance was the game
That's
where it
it.
was in the opening sequence.
Yeah.
I played several levels of it. I'd love to play them again.
I would have loved to play it.
It was buggy as hell.
Oh, so Christina Cox. Yeah. So I was at MCM London. It was my first ever convention.
Really?
And,
Yeah.
she was there doing some advertising for some other stuff she was working on in 2009, I believe it was. And all the guys in Battlestar were there, and I didn't care because I hadn't watched Battlestar at the time. So Edward James Olmos was there and everything, and I saw Christina Cox, and I was like, oh, I remember her from the Sentinel, and she's, I saw her in a trailer for Atlantis because her episode was coming up in season 5 of Atlantis.
Oh, yes.
So I went up to her and I met her, and I was 11. And she was really nice and sweet. And she was like, you get to see me in Atlantis next week. And I was like, I'm really excited.
Oh, there we go.
So,
She's
yeah.
so
Also,
good in this.
Jack just calls Major Warren Major Lawrence. Like, his actual name is Colin Lawrence. So they kind of they continue on with that this episode. Teal'c also calls him Major Lawrence. So
his actual
Yeah.
name? Okay.
like he's Major Warren. Like he's canon. He's Major Warren. But
Oh, I
I
see what you're
think
saying.
it must have been like a little slip up, and then they just continued with it.
Oh, why not? If Jack
but-
can rename Walter, we're good.
He's just
Stargate.
renaming
whatever
all of the
RDA does.
characters.
Just let it happen.
Exactly. So I think this is the reclaimed gravel pit of the Lower Seymour Conservation
Oh,
Reserve.
yes,
That makes a lot of
classic
sense.
filming location.
Yeah. So I was going to say Christina Cox as Lieutenant Kershaw. So she previously appeared as Takaya in the SG-1 episode Spirits. And
Yes.
as Nicole said, she does return as Major Teldy in Whispers.
That's right.
SGA.
Love her team.
And she's actually worked with a lot of the Stargate cast members before, like outside of the franchise. She was only in 2 episodes of Andromeda, and in those 2 episodes, she worked with Steve Basic, Alexa Doig, Kim Hawthorne, Colin Cunningham, Andrew Jackson, and Maury Chulkin.
Oh, is
Chulkin?
that all?
Yeah, just in 2 episodes.
Quite a
That's pretty
lot.
cool.
Oh, Canada.
You see the Malp smoking
and-
back there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one that
And I
always has to be
think,
pulled on a winch. It cannot roll by itself.
Ah.
Yeah.
And I think on Dial the Gate, Christina suggested that her return as Kershaw was only possible because her previous role in Spirits, she was wearing that full face prosthetic, so you couldn't actually
You can barely
see her
tell
face.
it's her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she happened to be in Vancouver at the time working on another project, which is why her hair is like short blonde, because that was for that role.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
why she looked that way at that time.
I really just love her for like Atlantis is like my favorite moment for her
Yep.
because she's got the
That
badass
episode
girl
still
team.
it still creeps me out.
With
That whole
Janina
episode
Gavankar.
still scares me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
creepy
here he
episode.
is. Oh, he's asleep.
Morgan, you hot sack of doo-doo. Love you.
Here's your.
He does a good job in this episode.
I love
but
him
he's,
so much.
He was basically just having a nap, waiting for the end to
Oh,
come.
of course.
Yeah.
And he was the
he'd
only
stop
one
running
who
and he was gonna
managed
fight
to
it
not
out.
get shot in this episode, where in the last
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
all he did was get shot.
No.
Oh, jeez.
God, he is such a snack. I forget how much of a snack he is.
He's very cute.
Yeah, have some water.
We're here to
Yeah.
fix it.
We oopsied. Sorry, what color are Christina Cox's eyes? Because they are
I think they're
Beautiful.
green.
they look green. I don't think I've ever realized how bright they are. 10 out of 10. Very jealous.
Yeah, I think they're green.
She's got a good resting bee face.
In this episode,
Christina
yeah.
Cox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the whole episode, she's just really sassy.
Yeah, because before, like when you see her before in the other episode, it's like no, you can't really
it's
see
like
her
completely
face much, but
changes her face almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what hair product they're using in those top level prisons, but man,
I was wondering
they're
that.
doing a good job with her.
Yeah. How much hairspray is going on?
So, a Redditor raised an interesting point about Latona's defense system. So they found it curious how a society like relied so heavily on the Sentinel, yet they forgot its workings and location over time. So they speculated that there might have been like a secret order passing down the Sentinel's knowledge, like separate from the government, which I thought was kind of cool.
There's a film called The Giver, in which case there's actually a one man. Played by Jeff Bridges, I believe. One person who holds the history of knowledge outside of the society, and every generation he selects a replacement. So there are comparisons to be made for a one person group that runs this.
Yeah.
I also kind of think it's sort of funny that the Sentinel's hidden behind a very obvious pile of dead trees that kind of stands out like a sore thumb.
And how are those dead trees? Like, how are they like, not more dead and just a pile of mulch?
Well, exactly.
It should be like embedded in a mountainside or something.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So what I was going to say Yvie, do you want to go first?
Oh, I was just going to say, just really quickly, that little bit where Jack was looking through the scope, I thought it was kind of a clever bit of filmmaking. It was like a budget-friendly way of
that's what I was
glimpse
thinking.
of the alien city without breaking the bank on the special effects.
I was literally, yep. What I was going to say about my thing was when you said earlier, Yvie, about the fact that they'd gone so many generations and everything, and they'd completely forgotten how to run the most important device. To me, that's like when when people stop using their passwords and have it just like auto have technology remember what it is, but they just don't remember their password anymore, and that's exactly what's happened. So
that is either a very tall man or a very short man, or both.
Yeah.
Oh, I can show you. I have the
measurements.
So that's Sean Reese, I think, Svarog's Jaffa commander. So he was actually Apophis's Jaffa commander in Point of View, and he played another Jaffa in Upgrades. And he is actually 6'5", so he's 196 centimeters tall. And for comparison, Henry Gibson was 5'3", so he's about 161 centimeters tall. So it's a pretty big difference.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm seeing he looks quite similar to Michael Rosenbaum. The bald head does help. I'm seeing a lot of Lex Luthor right now.
So
this guy's hot too.
Before, yeah, he's got a vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, Sentinel, why haven't you triggered yet?
Yeah,
they're right here. And apparently it also targets people from orbit too, so it takes the ships out too.
It does.
Why do all of Svarog's men not have any hair? I just realized they're all bald, and I'm used to them wearing like bald caps, right?
Maybe it's like
things,
maybe it's like a requirement.
Should see what Svarog does with them in the bed chamber. Yes, he did.
So if he has good hair, do you think that he just wanted everyone else to have like the bride on her wedding day,
he's compensating.
Bridesmaids to look different?
Maybe.
So he wants to have the only one with good hair. Everyone else has to have no hair.
So guys, I was thinking yesterday that there's some like old societies that use like nursery rhymes and folk tales to like as a way to like pass down important information. And it kind of struck me that the Latonans might do something similar with the story of the Sentinel. So like I've come up with a little rhyme that I imagine a Latonan parent might recite to their kids at bedtime. Do you guys want to hear it?
Okay. Though I may first say that these crystals were later seen when Corin Nimmick is swimming in Descent.
Yeah, great episode. Can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is my little rhyme. So, listen, Latona, child with care, of the Sentinel, foe beware. We serve no gods, no lords, no kings. The Sentinel protects all things. Should evil come with wicked plight, away they sent in blinding light. To the place ancestors divined, no ship nor soul is left behind. As long as candle flame does burn, the town is safe, be no concern. The Sentinel, it will defend. Our spirits free, our lives depend.
There we go.
Wow.
You wrote that?
Yes.
That was very good.
Beautiful. The talent that I lack that Yvie has. Ugh.
And the flame is... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I used bits that Marul says throughout the episode.
Very good. No, I
Yeah.
love it. And the flame means that the keeper of the Sentinel is alive, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
it means that the Sentinel is active and
Okay.
that the caretaker who's looking after it is also alive. So
But they
it's
managed
like
to find a way to stop that
yeah,
dead man switch from working?
They did. Yeah. They
Okay.
did a workaround.
Did they explain how they did that?
No, it's just one line that Christina Cox says. She
I
said there
love
was like
David
a
Kopp
dead
in
man
that
switch.
scene. Sorry.
I was going to say as well that I'm pretty sure that the city in the background through the window is like a matte painting because there's like ripples in the water that aren't moving. And there's also something a little bit off about Marul's reflection on the glass. I mean, it
like
does
a
the
good
job,
matte
obviously.
painting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, he didn't care about your law.
No.
They did anyway.
Yeah.
He just can't believe it. How
Uh-huh.
could they do that? Greaves promised he wouldn't touch it.
People lie.
That's it. Yeah. He gave me his word. He lied. Yet you speak the truth.
Oh, darling. I always thought the Sentinel reminded me of like the Olympic flame.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's awfully
The
smoky,
Olympic
though.
flame, like, yeah. Does the Olympic flame, like, it goes off, right? Like, they don't just keep it permanently lit.
No.
Because when I was a kid, I was like, do they just keep that thing lit, like, all year long?
Yeah.
You lied.
Oh, look at that face.
Oh.
Yeah, crap.
Mm.
Oh, there we
Yes,
go.
do you speak the
Okay.
truth?
You're right.
He's like a sad little child.
Honestly.
Well, they're screwed.
Yeah, they are. They've got no backup plan.
No. Plan F.
Yeah,
is
see,
in
the
which
water's not
totally-
moving.
And then he stops. Yeah, no, it
Actually,
doesn't.
no, maybe that.
It's
no,
moving.
I think it's moving.
It's moving.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Maybe there was a bit
Oh,
of a
ye of
glitter.
little
There might have been a
faith.
bit of a glitter.
Evie's like, "Oh, Stargate's budget can't afford the ripples that move. Going straight to judgment, which is what I would assume.
Well, it made sense. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, why would they spend money on some ripples that move? But
They might have just used
Yes.
some light to
yeah,
make it look like it was moving.
Yeah, they couldn't possibly notice this big, huge pile of dead trees for no reason.
yeah,
Exactly.
this is really suspicious.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Ice blocks.
There's those cubes. Yeah, I have a hidden talent. It's called music.
Yeah, so fans, I think it was on Reddit, had an interesting debate about Daniel helping to unlock the force field. So some thought that Sam, as a physicist, would have been like the obvious choice for the like complex math, but others argued that music sort of ties into cultural identity, which is where Daniel's expertise lies. Plus,
Yeah.
recognizing musical patterns might not be, in Sam's wheelhouse.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there's obviously also a practical angle, like Daniel working on the code does free up Sam to
Yep.
focus on defense. But
Yeah.
let's not forget that Daniel does know which end the bullet goes in now. So, he could probably
Of the
handle
knife,
himself in
yeah.
a fight. Yeah.
Yeah, he can. I love, that Greaves is given an opportunity at redemption in this, as well as Kershaw. Yeah, they were
Yes.
stupid, but I do believe, yes, in my interview with Steve Mackay, I do believe that they believe that they were doing the right thing.
We all do stupid
Yes.
stuff thinking that we're doing the right thing,
Yeah.
and I think that when it comes down to it, I think that a lot of the time it's like your intentions and like the greater good sometimes
Well,
are
and
very
who's,
important.
And who's ordering you? Who's giving the
Yeah.
orders? Mayborn or
Exactly.
the President of the United States? One of my favorite lines from O'Neill is, General Hammond, I've spent many years in the service of my country, and I was ordered to do some damn distasteful things.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh,
You know?
great line.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
to lie. You had
Yeah.
to steal. You had to kill. So
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, it's not all glamorous.
No, I like that nothing's really ever that
yeah,
black and white.
no.
So
I'm gonna reach out to David Kopp this week. I got to get him on the show.
Yes,
Please.
If I'm working on Grace Park, I got to get him on. So
yeah,
See what he's up to. Yeah, but you pursued yourselves right out of any knowledge of what to do if something goes wrong.
Exactly. There's not like a open this in case of an emergency, like, manual.
That's it. That's all there is to it. Red management. Okay, I'll reach out to him. But he hasn't worked since 2020.
No, he hasn't worked in a while.
Yeah, he was in something called Selfie. So, I'll see what he's up to. He's so good in this. I love that they picked this actor. I think if did the Gould shut down the Stargate? Did they cut it off?
No.
Okay, so they could have evacuated some of them if it really got bad.
Yeah. So I believe that Peter DeLuise does the voice of Svarog in this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One with really big speakers.
Yes.
So
I
he's
am your
the
director
voice of a
from this day forth, or at least for the next week. You will serve me.
So he's the voice of a Gold in this episode. He's the voice of an Asgard in Fragile Balance.
He gets around.
You just get to choose silly things for himself to do.
Yeah, it's like more
creative
creative ways of inputting himself into the show. It's great.
Some candles, some guy yelling, move, 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 you know, lots of things.
Yes.
I like Martin Wood helping Jack with his crossword in season 7. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, quit complaining, Sam.
Backup is backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
she still
now
puts
he
him in
can't shoot
place,
anymore.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need help, shoot your staff. Yep.
Yeah, loudspeakers. Yep. I feel like the Goulds would be like really good DJs, you know? They have like
DJs,
a really good...
DJs with a D? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
As in doing the whole... I don't even know what else you're trying to... you're implying.
You know exactly what I'm implying.
I do not. Oh, no,
Okay.
DJs.
Okay,
oh my goodness,
very
no. Because they have like that good voice. They could be talking to the crowd and hyping them up. And their voices would really get like the crowd going. God, these people are so like, you know, fearful and like innocent. I feel so bad.
They've had every need taken care of. I can't think of any society that would behave this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a bit of Jack sarcasm there?
Yeah.
And spending some time together, I think he's rubbing off.
Yeah.
He is a system lord. Okay, well, then there you go. Then that would have to be Svarog. I'll shoot him anyway. Never mind the paperwork.
I like this guy's like, huh?
He's trying. He's really
And
trying.
we're all so confused.
Well, I'm like really impressed with like Jack's diplomacy in this episode. Like he's been kind of uncharacteristically patient and calm.
Yeah, well, maybe he feels bad about the last episode. So he's like, oh, maybe I should give people a second chance.
Yeah. Surrender could buy them more time.
Yeah. Oh, darling, doesn't matter how innocent you
Doesn't
are.
matter.
That's not how the Goulds work.
Yeah.
It's just the eternal optimist.
I know.
Well, just got
you
a lot
know
of
what?
faith. A lot of faith in the Sentinel.
It's nice. It's nice. Just, you know, you'll die, so.
Yeah, I think he says later, or he might have said already, like they've had it for 200 years.
Yeah. God, this sound puzzle, it's like giving me like PTSD to like Star Wars Outlaws, because to pick locks, you have to listen to these sounds and like figure out how to like lock pick to that. And I'm like, oh, like that stresses me out.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a battalion. Didn't we just shoot all of you guys? You look like a lot of the people we just shot.
They're twins. A lot of twins in the Jafar.
Yeah, can we get inside this time? That would probably be for the best.
Protection, please.
Yeah.
Oh, another shot from Children of the Gods. Look at that.
Absolutely.
That was exactly the same shot. Classic.
It's just a little bit dimmer.
It helps when you use
Yeah, they
the
dimmed it.
same location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember I was watching some behind the scenes with Christopher Judge and Michael Shanks when they were doing some stuff for season 7, I believe, and they were coming to that location because it got reused a lot. And I remember the Michael and him are pulling up, and he's like, "Oh, didn't we use this for like this episode and like Children of the Gods and what?" And they were like reminiscing and having a nice moment. And I was like, "You guys have reused so many places that it's quite nice because it's like you get to go back to the beginning every now and again."
Yes.
So do you send more men to die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is the last time that we hear Major Warren, aka Major Lawrence. So I've got a theory about where he ends up. I bet he stays on Latona and sets up a bar in a nearby town called, I don't know, maybe Virgin River. I mean, the scenery looks suspiciously familiar,
Is he in Virgin
right?
River?
No,
Yes.
is he?
Yeah.
Ah,
He's probably the bar owner.
no way. That's mental.
He's like the bar hand.
Of course he is.
He is. Oh, Evie, that's really funny. I like that you managed to put Virgin River. Like you keep managing to bring that back into Stargate. It's great. Makes you so happy.
All the time, just when it's relevant.
No, it's not, but I wish you did it more. It's really funny. It makes me smile. Look at all those ice cubes, man.
Oh, that's a lot of ice.
Yeah.
So, on Dial the Gate, Christina Cox spoke about the somber atmosphere on set during
During
9/11.
these scenes, yeah.
So,
The cave is
yeah,
where
they were
they shot.
filming in the
This was
cave.
9/11.
Yeah. So, she remembers how like eerily quiet in the city it was that morning. I think she was out for a jog and she was wondering why there wasn't a lot of people and cars on the street. And then when she got back to her hotel, she saw the second plane like hit the second tower on TV, and she was worried about her parents who were supposed to be flying out that day. And she said in the end, obviously they couldn't focus on filming, so they wrapped early. And I think she called it like a surreal day where they didn't get to accomplish much work just because of the just what happened.
I find it really interesting when like so much TV gets affected by like, you know, real life events. And it's really interesting seeing like historically when you look back, you can see when 2020 hit and TV was like really affected by it. And where like social distancing was happening, and there are like some TV shows where they just didn't have people in scenes together. They had them like very far apart.
Yeah, and
like,
there's not a lot of extras on screen either.
Or say there's like Buffy, I think they had like some shootings happen, and so they decided not to air Buffy around that time. Because there was some sort of connection. I can't remember what it was, or maybe there wasn't, but they felt they maybe should take a break for a little bit, and so they took an unusual break in the season. And the fact that like you can also see the way the 9/11 affected television around this period of time, it's just it's really interesting. You know, I'd love a historian to go back and like over 100 years and see all the big points in time where huge things happened and how they affected TV.
Well, at the World Trade Center Memorial, the 9/11 Memorial underground, there is a media wall that's like 50, 60, 70 feet long. And it has, from the date of the incident to today, every article is preserved there.
Oh wow!
So I'm glad.
Yep. He looks so meanie. He's such a meanie head.
He's such a meanie.
Yeah. That jawline.
Poo-poo face.
He's got a hot poo-poo face though. He could have been Lex Luthor stand-in.
It could have been.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's
oh,
fair.
dude, you need to lighten up.
They all don't have hair. It really bothers me. Like
he's got a little bit on his chin.
It's weird. Yeah, why?
I don't know. I've always wondered.
Oh man, he's got balls.
Yeah, he does. They came out.
Absolute faith in the Sentinel. Just like absolute faith in a deity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you've known your entire life that something will protect you, and strangers come along and say, no, you're wrong. And like, this
Mm,
fire still burns. This is all I know.
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
So this planet he's
Yep.
referencing isn't one that we know.
Yeah.
Mm. Uh, yeah. Rude.
Yeah, don't you know who he is?
Yeah. This is like the world's biggest nerd.
Oh, sure.
She's pieced it together.
Uh-oh.
Didn't take her long.
They put it right back together.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
did it exactly what they needed, so.
So what happens to Greaves? He still
Well,
has to
yeah, I
retain
was gonna
physical
mention
form
that.
at some point
Yeah.
so that he can pass on the knowledge to the next caretaker.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe Marul knows about that. But someone has to know how to
Yeah.
do it because someone has to be able to read the manual.
Hmm.
That thing is so cool. You don't really see
It
it.
is really cool. No. So, caretaker basically just looks like a kid with a stick.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you wonder if like Greaves used unnecessary force. Uh, but like I mean Hammond did say just before that he was talking about Greaves' actions on another planet. And it kind of feels like they're trying to establish a pattern of behavior for
Mm-hmm.
Greaves. Because Hammond said that he'd killed a couple of people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also think it's kind of interesting that they've positioned Kershaw in like a familiar spot. Like it's almost where the caretaker, when they'll
Went
show in a
down.
second, where the caretaker is positioned as well when he's
Yeah.
passing away.
Yeah.
So like I think maybe it's intentional. It's almost like the Sentinel has its own twisted sense of justice, like it's like an eye for an eye kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have killed him. Yeah. Because it avoids all of the
Mm,
Earthlings.
mm.
So it could have wiped out every non-Latonan.
Lockhart just said his faith is reminds him of the Red Sky, of their faith in the Asgard.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So if he touched the Sentinel, would it have probably would have killed them,
Yeah.
I
or
don't
would it have,
know.
healed him?
Yeah, I don't know whether he's saying it because it's important to, yeah, it's important in like the I don't know, the transmission of information, or if he just wanted to touch it because he'd never touched it before.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No,
so
he
this is
won't.
where they talk about,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
he basically like
The
jerry
flame.
rigged it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dead man switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why would he reveal that?
Yeah, he shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Hmm. He's figured it out. No, darling.
Mm,
Like they're just sitting there having these big conversations, and the Jafar have been standing there the whole time, just like chilling, just like, yep.
Well, there's nothing they can
yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
It's
might
quite-
as well
quite cool.
gain the intelligence of
Yeah.
of what they're learning. Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
He is such a poo-poo head.
Yeah.
He really is.
Mm.
Mm, Jack.
Yep.
I love this like code that they're speaking with their eyes. And then she'll do the same thing with Jack.
Well, Yeah.
Yep, secret code.
Yeah.
Yep.
They all know. Okay.
No, sir. Read between the lines.
Yeah, Jafar. So they are talking
Yeah,
in very
come on.
obvious code.
But I mean, he has just been basically electrocuted, so it might take him a second.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think that Greaves's sacrifice, is like a form of atonement for his past misdeeds on Latona
Yep.
and
It's
even
a
those
step in the right
murders that
direction.
Hammond, yeah, talked
Yeah.
about? Hmm. Also, like Marul said earlier, like an enemy of our people came in a great ship and was sent away.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that means that
There was something
Tharog
disincentivized him
is
from
also
shooting
gone.
or from orbit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Sentinel didn't just take the ground forces, it also wiped out, everyone in orbit as well. So
Mm.
I've been kind of like wondering about the Sentinel's like exact capabilities. Do you think it actually eliminated the threats permanently, or did it just zap them to like a different side of the universe?
Ooh, I would imagine it's permanent. I feel like zapping to the other side
Yeah.
of the universe is a lot of effort.
Utterly
Yeah.
disincorporated.
Yeah.
And like, do you think Greaves is actually dead, or is he like a permanent part of the Sentinel? You kind of touched
I
on
feel
that
like he's
earlier.
permanently in there, like some degree
Yeah.
of him,
But who's
something
going
like
to
essence.
learn how to do it again?
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I
what
don't
I was wondering.
understand.
And why wasn't Tilk beamed away? I'm assuming it's because he was like within the force field.
Oh,
It could
because
have
it wouldn't have
been.
been able to separate him from the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you think
That's a good
maybe
point.
Greaves kind of had like a part of it?
Uh-huh. I
Like
do
because he
think
was
that
one
he's
with the
selecting.
Sentinel,
Right.
he programmed
That
it and
person's
he
bad.
spared
That
Tilk.
person's bad. Send them away.
Yeah.
Send that ship away. Yeah. And the frustrating thing
Yeah.
is that the beam, it looks like it goes through the countryside. It doesn't look like it goes up into the sky. And I just think that
No.
that was just an interesting choice, visual effects wise. You just imply that the
It
mothership
just hit
has
the
been,
ground crew.
yeah, imply that the mothership is
Yeah.
also gone. So cool
So
stuff.
I think
Yeah.
Joe Malozzi said that this wasn't one of his favorite episodes. He
Yeah, I think a lot of
called
watchers
it a
just said that,
misfire. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a misfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A misfire.
Yeah. I love season 4 and 5, and not this one.
Well,
Leave
that
it on
was the Sentinel. All right, folks.
So I was gonna say that I kind of enjoyed the role reversals in this episode. So I was just waiting till the lion finished roaring.
No, it's all right.
Sorry.
When we stop
It
talking
was
at the end,
kind of
David
like
just cuts it, I think.
yeah, I
do.
know. It was kind of like they all sort of swapped hats. So we had Sam stepping up as a team leader. We had Daniel diving into like the technical science stuff. Jack being like surprisingly diplomatic, and then we had Grogan actually showing
Yeah.
some unexpected competence.
And he didn't get shot. Did get captured, but not
So
shot.
it's kind of refreshing to see these characters take on like different directions.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of enriches their characters a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I enjoyed about this episode, but it's still one that I routinely skip. So I think I might as well just go ahead with my review.
I like you were
I
trying to
think
find
I'd
the
probably
good.
give
Yeah.
it I'd probably give it a 4,
Really?
I think. Yeah. I think
Is
it's
that
better than a
generous,
3.
David, do you think?
I don't know what to
don't
think
know.
about
I
that.
think maybe
Yeah.
I think I would have given it a 3 in the past, but I really love Henry Gibson. He's adorable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
And I think he does a really good job of playing this kind of naive leader.
No, I think a 4 is fair.
Yeah.
I would. You know what? Yeah, I'm also going to vote 4 as well. The central premise of the episode is I think is a decent one. The idea that we've got to clean up the mess of one of our previous teams. We've done this, I think, kind of before with the Touchstone. So it continues that theme with the name of the MacGuffin in the episode, like the Ark of Truth will eventually be. Also, what?
You said touchstone. It was also these guys also were the ones that caused all the mess in the touchstone, so that was fun.
Maybe not that team, but definitely the
but
same crew.
That organization,
Yeah. So it's a quieter episode, but still manages to give us, a fair bit of bang for our buck in terms of a Jaffa and Goa'uld invasion of a planet. But yeah, I think it's a 4 overall. So
I'm just really like, we're 5 seasons in, and I'm so done with just like, we're just picking off ghouls left and right now. We have been for ages, and it's like I'm just waiting for the.
It's our MO.
I'm waiting for the big bucks to come in, like Anubis. I can't wait for him to like come in full force. It's eliminating like Apophis and Cronus and everybody and like Nitty eventually is really fun because they're bad guys who've had around for a while. So I'm always excited to see them come back. But when we just start listing off ghouls we don't even know, just to kill them off in that episode, just introduce them and say goodbye. I'm always very like
Are you suggesting that it diminishes their power because we're just kind of knocking them off?
Yeah, like
their threat level.
The thing.
Or maybe you can't even really care about it. Or having any emotions about it because you don't know them. Do you know what I mean? Like, they haven't been around enough.
Care.
That was the surprising thing about when Sokar was knocked off when he was. It's like we just really met this guy.
We didn't get to have enough fun with
you. This is the first time we've actually seen him. We kind of see him at the end of season 2.
He's got a helmet.
See him in season 3, and now he's gone.
That was fun.
Yeah, red eyes instead of glowing yellow eyes. So yep.
Yeah, I just think that there are so many Goa'ulds that just come in and just to die. And one of the great things about like Cronus is all the beef with Teal'c. So when he finally gets his comeuppance, you're like, oh, you don't even see Cronus that much. Like you actually don't. I didn't realize how little you see him, but the impact was great. Yeah. And Yu just comes in every now and again to just be all like menacing and make all the right decisions because he's a bro. And then eventually he dies in season 8, which is mental. But like that was crazy to me. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, because you have like an emotional attachment to them almost, like whether that's a good emotion or a bad emotion, but there's still some form of attachment, whereas with Svarog we don't know this guy from Adam.
Your villains give definition to your heroes.
And
that's
Moloch
why you
is one that I'm very similar with. However, hearing what he did to Ishtar's people, I was like, oh, I actually care somewhat. But yeah, it's like they've started doing it less because it has less impact, and I'm looking forward to seeing less of this. This episode is a 2 for me.
A 2.
Ooh,
I really, I had to do everything in my power to not give it a 1. I think I didn't give it a 1 because some of the cast are fun.
You have permission to give episodes a 1.
I know, I just didn't feel like it deserved it. It's not a bane. It's not the bane of my existence. I really dislike that episode. So, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to give something a 1. No, Icon, that's coming up. Yeah, okay, eventually going to give that a 1. But I think
I have a few ones heading your way.
I think I only have like a couple ones coming, but I don't think this was worthy of that. A 2 is best for me. I feel bad, but I think it's valid. I just don't like cracking on people's.
Why are you feeling bad? Because you care about the people who created the content?
This is art, and I feel bad when people who make something get.
You are entitled to not like every bit of art.
I know.
Exactly. You're still allowed to have your own opinion.
Yeah. I'm so glad Christina Cox is in some great episodes of the show or plays some great characters because I get to appreciate her.
Otherwise, it would have been a 1.
Potentially. No, it's a 2. I think I'm not that harsh, but yeah, it's not great. It's it's not a Bane. Okay, Bane is bottom level.
All right. So 2 and 2 4s.
Yeah. So we have Anthony with a 4. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of 4s and 3s. Lockwatcher said this is a 4. 3 if I watched it by myself. Always better with friends. Love that.
True.
Henry Gibbs's face when he found out they lied looked like someone took his puppy. His puppy. And at every turn it got worse. He did. Someone kicked his puppy constantly. Jean Diardo, 3 for me. It's a nice episode. I like the concept, and I like that they tied up some loose ends. I'd have liked to have more meat into the story. Yes. Stuart Miller says 4 chevrons. Shimmery Victoria, 3. I usually skip it, but I like the bullet line. Raj Luthra, 4 out of 7. Lockwatcher said, as a reminder, we lost James L. Jones earlier this week. Yes,
we didn't mention that. That's true.
No, and he was. I remember the first time I heard him was actually as an Unas. I'd never seen Star Wars at that point. Okay. So
what?
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
I'll touch on that a bit more in a minute. Jed Ted, another 6 Chevy 6. Candy Mitch a 6. Sorry guys, I'm so like dumbfounded. All right, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I feel less bad now. Dan Ben a high 5 out of 7. And
high five.
A high 5. Lockwatcher, no tears from Nicole in this episode. No, you have to have kids involved for me to get upset, apparently. I think the Cassandra ones don't really bother me too much because I know everything's going to be okay. But the fact that someone had the brain scramblies and then the other one got shot by Jack, I'm pretty offended on their behalf. So the brain scramblies is the term that's used in What We Do in the Shadows when they turn a man's brain to mush. Sad episode. James L. Jones was also in Will and Grace, where they mentioned an episode of Lois and Clark and New Adventures of Superman. Did not know that. Logwatch said, see lesser known for Star Wars per Nicole. Yeah, I hadn't seen Star Wars at the time when I was 5 when I first saw Thor's hammer. So actually, it took me until I was 17 to realize that the Unis was James L. Jones because I never paid attention to the
credits, the opening credits.
I never did, and I never put it together because I just didn't. For some reason, my brain just hadn't done it. And then one day I was like, yeah. And then one day I was like,
that sounds eerily familiar.
Yeah. And then I clocked it. Yeah. But my friends and I were talking about it in our group chat the other day, and we're big fans of like the video games, Halo and stuff like that. And so
he's in Halo.
No. This is relevant for what I'm about to say.
I was going to say.
So I said, oh yeah, did you know he was in Stargate? And my friend Jordan has seen it. So he was like, I didn't realize that was him. And I was like, no. And I sent a little voice thing because one of my friends hasn't seen Stargate. And he says, that sounds more like the Arbiter from Halo. And I was like, it does. And I sat there and I was like, Keith David and James L. Jones are actually very similar. So,
you think so?
For the dialogue that they had as the Unis.
Interesting. Okay.
Because he says to him
got
like
such a distinctive voice.
The way that he's doing one of the Unis lines where he was like, kill the human and we shall feast together. And like, that's exactly the same. That's exactly the same way that the Arbiter goes like, kill me or release me, parasite, but do not waste my time with talk. And I was sitting there like, oh, that does sound like Keith David. So yeah, maybe, they could like do some swapsies and bring Keith David in to do some Star Wars stuff. I don't know, but
that works.
Rest in peace, James L. Jones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
awesome.
A life well lived.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah. All right, gang.
Oh, and Candy Mitch said SG-1 has to be really bad to be lower than a 5 for them. That is valid.
So the 5 is their floor?
Yeah, I think that 5 is their floor. I don't know what my floor is. I think my floor is like
1 to 7. That's the whole point.
Yeah. But like I have like a like if it goes below a 4, then it's like not great. Is my ruling. If something's not great, I put it below a 4. So. Yeah.
Even Battlestar Galactica, in my opinion, has episodes that are 1s.
No.
When they started going to 20 episodes a season, it really
dragging
it out.
There were some
episodes.
In there that were just like,
I get why they did it, but it was
Dirty Hands. I always
like Dirty Hands.
Well, For me. The episode where anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's a different show.
You should Battlestar at some point.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's what we got for this one, folks. So
are we back next week?
We are
back next week. Yeah.
Jean Diarda has reminded us to bring our tissues.
Meridian and Revelation, Sunday, September 22nd.
Shoot, we're finishing?
At 1 p.m. Pacific time. We are finishing season 5.
This season feels like it's gone on for so long because we had that big break in the middle.
We've had a big break and some smaller breaks.
It's been quite nice, though, because I feel like we really powered through seasons 2 and 3, and they sucked, and I would have liked more breaks between them.
Yep. Absolutely.
And we need to figure out our midweek movie. I think I said forever ago that I wanted it to be Stardust, but I wanted you to have the sound on because I think you hadn't seen it, David.
I can watch it with an earbud. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I just choose not to because I'm trying to pay attention to what you guys are saying.
It's not technically a sci-fi, but it's Neil Gaiman and it's fantasy. And it has the word star in it, and it's about a star that falls. All right. So, and you know what? It's in the realm. All
Claire
right.
Danes. Okay.
Yeah, and Charlie
Henry
Cox.
Cavill.
You do not recognize him. You'll be like, which one's Henry Cavill? And then you'll realize really
Robert De Niro.
It's amazing. Michelle Pfeiffer, brilliant cast. Mark Strong. Oh,
Mark Strong. Yeah, absolutely.
It's really funny. It's got that English humor just through and through the whole time. It is brilliant. It's my favorite movie, like in my top 10. So
really, okay, very good. Well, we'll definitely.
I have not seen that. But I feel like we need to watch more stuff that Nicole hasn't seen.
So that would be Wednesday the 25th.
So I think so. We did Alien and Aliens, which Evie hadn't seen. We
Yep.
did
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, which
And we did Inner Space.
and we did anything
Inner
I haven't
Space.
seen.
Yeah.
So we're going to one that you guys haven't seen because Dave,
I
we haven't
haven't
had one
seen
where David
Stardust.
hasn't seen Stardust yet.
No.
So that's why I chose Stardust.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then we can the next time we can bully Nicole for the end of season 6. And you guys
Well,
can
there
pick one
was
I
that
haven't
there
seen.
was that movie with Aubrey Plaza that I suggested that we watch, that sci-fi, and you guys haven't seen that one.
Oh,
Cool, okay.
which one is that?
It's like a time traveling
I've
thing.
seen it. I've seen it with the newspaper ad.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Oh, you
So I
said that you
don't
hadn't
really-
seen it. Oh, okay.
Probably
I've
not.
seen it in
before
the
that you
last.
hadn't seen
I've
it.
seen it within the last year.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
So if it's
All
been
right.
longer than that, then yeah.
Okay.
Well,
That's
find
okay.
ways to bully me and like get me to just learn new things. No, I mean that nicely. When I say bully, I mean
Maybe
nicely.
we'll find a
Let's
movie
say
that we all
educate.
want.
Educate you.
You know,
Well, we need to watch Galaxy Quest. I
That's
love
true.
Galaxy
We need to
Quest.
do that.
One we've all seen, we get to enjoy. Yeah,
Well-
we
But
should put
it's
that.
so
at a good.
good.
Screw that. All right.
One of my
Yes.
favorite moments.
Yeah, I was trying to say, could I mouth it but say it?
You
No.
did a really good job doing that.
So I had to have
know
a delay.
exactly what you were doing. So
All right,
I know what
gang.
you're referencing.
We are the Wormhole Extremists. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for bearing with us for a little extra time this week. We'll see you next week to finish off season 5. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.